Double 11! Amazing prices! Amazing styles! Win big in Mega Draw! Lowest prices, incredible benefits. Welcome to Double 11! Amazing prices! Amazing styles! Win big in Mega Draw! Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw. Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw. Lowest prices, incredible benefits.
Oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back again for another round of Best of Three series. We're gonna be having two Best of Threes today, but yeah, for the first time, we will be back again for another lower brackets. This is gonna be a do or die situation for both of all of the teams that are here. We have seen such a banger yesterday, but this time also, I'm pretty sure this Best of Threes will not be different either. So we have our first team for today, Star Estella Viva. They have shown us what their gameplay is going to be like. Very, very disciplined, very, very flexible into the draft as well. And of course, Dekona guys with their assassinations, they have the micro, they have the capability to try to win out the game. So this is going to be a banger match as well. And of course, when you have a banger match, I'm going to be there with ones. Of course, we are going to be always together
Yeah,
here, right? Duoing.
yeah, yeah. Actually, yesterday I dipped, but today I'm back, and
Mm-hmm.
I did miss out a few of the games yesterday. I did not get to watch it, but yeah, today I am definitely gonna be catching up with what has happened. And yeah, Debbie, I am so excited to see these two teams face off against one
Mm-hmm.
another because they are like one of the strongest teams in the Queen's Legacy,
Yeah.
I dare say, because Daycona guys and Estela Viva are quite strong. And yeah, Daycona guys, they have a lot of fans as well. So, there will be a lot of viewers who will be fighting against each other as well. Who's going to be better? We're going to see. It is a best of three series as well tonight. So we will see a huge action packed matches as well.
That's what. That's what. Because like and usually when you see the boys team, the games are very very fast paced and ending so early almost at the time. But for the girls squads, they usually go for a lengthy game, even though
Yeah,
the brawls are actually very decisive most of the time. So this is why it actually drags on, and the best of threes kind of becomes so intense. So I'm
yeah.
actually hoping for that kind of intense game again, because one of the jungles that we have right now, they are also well versed onto the assassins too, but also the utility again. Fighter jungles are definitely going to be still out there, but we'll see what they're going to be bringing onto the table, because this time around, Star as the first pick and the Kona guys will be on to the second pick. And of course, when you are against Miss Telly, you want to remove out the Hayabusa.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, Telly, she plays the Hayabusa so well that
Yeah.
it is a must ban to pick off the Hayabusa because you do not want to give Telly her comfort picks. And yeah, she does exceptionally good on the Hayabusa. And yeah, talking about Estela Viva, we can see that they are coming up with very common bands, which is usually the Hayabusa, the Grok. And what would their third band be? I think it might probably be a mage or a gold laner, or possibly an
Mm,
EXP as well, because right now we are in a very huge, EXP meta. So that
yeah.
we might see another EXP ban as well. But yeah, talking about Daycona guys, it seems like they do not want to give away the Bane because you know how dangerous and nasty the Bane can get in the late game. So they are just picking it away since they do not have the first pick. And yeah, talking about this, we can already see a Kadita ban as a third ban from the side of Estela Viva. So that is a mid ban coming up from their side, which is pretty solid. And yeah, the Nathan, of course. From the side of Dekona, guys, they have to take it out. They do not want to give away that late game monster to the side of Estela Viva.
Yeah, this is exactly a good ban and exactly what we think that they're going to be removing. Because, Nathan has been very aggressive in this game.
Hello, Debbie.
Wait, okay. There we go. I just had an issue here. Yeah, I'm pretty unsure why the CC was let go by Dekona, guys, because it could have been a very, very good ban here. But anyway, they just wanted to remove out the Natan because the Natan have hold such an important space into this girls tournament so far, and the CC as well. But CC is still a flex, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, CC is such a flex pick in the meta. She can either be thrown into the gold lane or the EXP. So, you never know what you might face when a CC is there. But yeah, talking about Estela Viva, I mean, Dekona guys, actually, they are
Mm.
going with such a classic combo, which is the Carmela and a Vixana. This is a favorite combo for the girls because I've
Yep.
seen like even in reels, this combo is often played by girls and they love executing it. So yeah, they kind of might as well try something similar here with the curse of blood, the eternal god. It just kaboom, everything is just deleted from the battlefield. So we might see that if we see a 5 minute set. But yeah, this it's a bit risky as well because the Carmela, she is more of a support than a tank, of course. She can
Mm.
farm for the team, but she is a very, very item dependent. So she has to wait for the items. And that is where she starts becoming more chunky and can tank for the team. But yeah, look at this. Oh my god, what are we seeing from
Wow.
the side of Estela Viva, Debbie? We can see a Kimmy and the Irtel at the same time. So this is going to be a Kimmy mid and definitely a Irtel goal and a CC EXP, right?
Mhm. What this is a very heavy combination, high kill pressure coming through for the side of Star Stella Viva here. But yeah, they're gonna be needing a little bit of a frontliner, a very tanky frontliner. It's either has to be the Hylos or the Gatot Gacha here. But if they go for something rather than those two, it's still gonna be okay. So, but the thing is, I feel like Star Stella Viva they really wanted to go for the utility jungle instead of the assassin because if they double down the kill pressure that they already have, they're gonna be lacking onto the front line just a little bit. But for the
Okay.
Kona guys though, they pick out the Ixia, a very very underrated pick, but still good nonetheless. There's not a dive already. There's not much
Yep.
of a dive coming through for the Star Estella Viva. Either they
Yep.
have to pick out an assassin for themselves for them to go against the Ixia, or they
Yep.
go for the utility. But yeah, if they go for the utility, the Vexana will play a very, very huge role. So the Kona guys, they should be safe to remove away any kind of utility jungle and a
Yep.
frontliner.
Yeah, I mean they did remove the Baxia, which is a really good and good utility jungle in the current meta, and this
Mm,
leaves space only for the Fredrin. I can see that in this kind of composition with Estela Viva, only a Fredrin. But yeah, talking about Dekona guys though, their composition, it is so macro reliant. Like
yeah.
talk about a micro, I don't feel like none of these heroes are gonna do well in the micro, but the macro it's gonna be so huge. It's just gonna be a complete wipeout if they get to land their skills. Like if you execute your skills perfectly in team fights, they kind of guys they definitely have the higher edge
Mm,
here. And yeah, talking about the bans, we can see that we're
yeah.
already into the second banning face, and you can see the Julian being picked out from the side of Estela Viva as well as the X-Borg. Okay, I feel like this time around we might see a utility jungle because the X-Borg has been taken out of the picture.
Mm.
So they're possibly removing a threat for the utility jungle. But oh my god, look at
Oh.
guys, they are going in with the glue. This is going to be so huge for them because with the glue they can create so much early game pressure, and especially if you have a utility jungle, you are definitely going to be stuck. You're just going to be glued to the glue.
Yep, that's the glue proposed only. The Gatot would have been a very, very perfect pick for Star Stella Viva, but I think the Kona guys do understand that the Gatot shouldn't be let go. So Star Stella Viva, they need a tanky frontliner and a tanky jungle. It either has to be the Fredrin or the Akai, or they can go for the Hylos into the Rome. But so far, the lineups already coming through is Dekona guys, right? The Hylos will not be fitting because of the Vexana. So they wanted to go for the Minotaur instead, but the Fredrin has to be in. The thing about the glue is that the Fredrin kind of struggle against the glue because glue is such a menace for those melee heroes, which doesn't really
Yep.
have that much of a big connection or a big movement speed and
Indeed.
blinks. So it's just gonna be very, very stubborn, right? This glue. But
Yeah.
what could be the last pick here for the side Decona guys? I feel like they are safe to pick out any assassin. Never mind.
Okay.
It's the
Wow.
alpha. Wow.
Wow, this is a bit unexpected because the alpha might struggle a bit against huge crowd control. We can see
Mm,
that, Estela Viva, they do have a lot of crowd control, considering the fact that they have the Fredrin and the Minotaur, as well as the Kimi. She might not be a huge crowd control pack hero, but then she does have a lot of mobility and poke, and a little bit of a setup kit on her ultimate, as well as an immobilize. So that would be enough, to keep distance from the glue and the alpha as well. So I feel like, overall, the micro definitely goes to Estela Viva. But talking about the macro, definitely it's gonna be Dekona guys, because Debbie, just
mm,
imagine one curse of blood and one full barrage. It's gonna wipe them out completely. So
that's
they
right.
have to really position themselves and not get caught up in those skills.
I feel like the Editor with the sprint might eventually be able to dodge out all those full barrage here because it's
Yeah.
an immobile ultimate. You can really if you are out of that zone, you can easily cancel out. But like you said, the combination is definitely going to be out there, right? Because of the glue and the Fredrin might
Catch them.
eventually struggle against that too, but we'll
Ultra
never know because we'll
deployed.
be seeing into the land of dawn, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be the first game of this best of three series. Lower brackets, by the way, a direct and knocked out. This is gonna be the last chance for both of the teams, and Star Estela Viva, they will be going against Dekona guys in the matchup that they already bring onto the table for us.
Estela Viva versus Dekona guys is gonna be so intense, and I definitely feel that Dekona guys are definitely gonna lean toward the late game because they do have a lot of late game heroes, considering the fact that they have an Ixia as well
Yeah.
as an Alpha. Alpha, he needs items as well. So one or two items, then he's gonna start coming online. But then Debbie, look at this, look at Estela Viva. They're
Oh,
taking on with so much pressure in the
that's
early game. They're just controlling the jungle and trying
uh-huh.
to just put out as much poke as possible.
The clearance that's coming through from Vexana is definitely gonna be, giving them a little bit of an upper hand. But this is the Kimi we are talking about. The Kimi also does have a lot of pressure into the mid side if you pair it together with any kind of tank that can clear fast with the concussive blast as well, which Greenfrog right now brought here onto the Minotaur here. But hey, onto the top lane, I think there might be a 1v1 situation happening in Rosareta. I don't think she'll be able to go in a. I mean, she will not be winning that much against Linksy because it's a glue and a CC. It's supposed to be neutral. It's only when it comes down to the team fight that it becomes such an importance. But the rotation is definitely going to be into the top lane for the side of the Star Estela Viva. They wanted to focus onto this turtle, which is going to be spawning in 10 seconds, and we might see them trying to contest it too.
Yeah, there will be a contest because this time around all the junglers, they are up to level 4. But I do feel like this turtle might go into the hands of Estela Viva, considering the fact that they
Yeah.
have solid early game heroes like Fredrin, the CC, Kimmy. They all do really well in the early game right off the bat,
Oh.
and they can definitely create so much space here. But Debbie, look at this, look at the glue.
Oh, Linksy already level 4 trying to go in. There's going to be a Monk coming through as well to the backline trying to get a stun. It's going to be the Texan Pulse yet again, but Tally will be able to grab that turtle. She's going to be taken down very low, one hit away from falling down. Green Fox able to take her down, but it's going to be a second coming through as well. The
Oh,
Flicker is in. Stun is definitely going to be out there. The fantastic pass. CC will be going onto the backline. Meow able to get that kill onto the room over the side of Dekona guys. They give out the turtle, but they trade it out with 2 damage dealers. But Linksy, so you have to be careful though.
wow, that was such a good trade for Estela Viva. This is what I was talking about, They have
Mhm.
solid early game heroes which they can take advantage of. And they can definitely create so much pressure. And we can already see the Kimi has grabbed the Sky Piercer as a first item. So that is going to be so solid for securing kills against these tanky tanks that they have onto the side of Dekona guys. as well as the alpha because he's quite tanky. So chunking down that HP when it's low with the Sky Pierce is definitely gonna help out securing that clean kill. But yeah, as per Dekona guys, for now they just have to focus on farming because that is their main key objective for this game. Just farm and try not to look for any kind of a fight because if you do, you are definitely gonna lose out. And yeah, definitely the Carmel as well has to really look out because you do not have any dashes. Once you're in, you're in. You have to commit, and there's no going back. But yeah, look at this. Another bush check coming in from the Carmilla. Goes in right
Oh,
into trouble.
Minion Fury! And the Eternal God combination, but the full barrage is still out there. The Curse of Black
Oh
connects
my
on the Remember
God.
skill. Taken down. Telly will be able to grab that kill. Another one is onto the run. Nanami falling down. Green Frog on the run, and it's gonna be the Curse of Blast with the last hit blasting out. Green Frog in the skirmishes. What a good turn of event for Dekona, guys.
Oh my god, Debbie, this is what I expect from Dekona guys. I was, hoping to see some clashes, some combination, and this is what we get to see. Kudos to, Mariah for actually connecting that curse of blood right before dying. That, in the whole phase of the game because now they are on the advantageous side and they can even contest for the turtle.
Yeah, that's what. But look at Linksy though. Never mind, Nanami! But they're still onto the turtle! Able to go in and
Another
stick with his
barrage.
Patel. He might be in trouble. The full barrage will be popped as well. But killing free for Garcia. Mao will be able to grab a kill onto Nanami as well. The turtle still is there, but at what cost? Dekona guys, they traded out with all the kills that they could find. It's still gonna be 1k goal lead that they have right now. Maria trying to go for a vision here. Kezia without the ultimate. Sui going in, trying to get a damage with the damage coming through as well from Kezia. She will be able to get that mega kill. A 1v1 happening with Kezia winning out with the Ixia here. They might be trying to go for a little bit of an boost. That's gonna be a taunt coming through. The damage is there. Unstoppable. Neil taken down by Kezia. Green Frog. They have to flicker away. But this is gonna be the gain for the Kona guys. They wanted to die. One more hit, killing free from Wow! The Cursed Blast is definitely doing wonders for the side of the Kona guys.
Oh my god, this is just a big turn of events in the battlefield here, Debbie. We can see the tide of the game totally shifting towards Dekona guys, and this time around they have to be so careful of Kazia because Kazia is so fed right now. She has the highest goal from Dekona guys, 5.1k goal, 2 items already being made, and man, the lead is just keeps going up onto the side of Dekona guys. The economy is just rising rapidly because we can see there is a huge difference. There's almost a 3.5k goal difference compared that to of Estela Viva. Estela Viva this time around they have to really rely on the set that Minotaur Green Frog here can do. So they have to just wait up for a beautiful set and try to pick off the backline because with them without picking away the backline they can't really win team fights. And they Kona guys, they have such a heavy pack team fight combination. Oh my god, on the top there.
Top lane, Kezia! Oh my goodness! That was a good disappointment. I mean, it was a good disappointment either way for Estela Viva. They were able to pick out a shutdown, but they couldn't, guys. They will be able to trade it out with the turtle ones, and I think this is actually still in favor of Star Estela Viva because when you are ahead, you do not want to be taken down. You are building up the Sky Piece, especially for Kezia. You do not want to get the shutdown kill, to give out the shutdown kill onto the hands of the Irisa, but on the other hand, Soreta, I think she wanted to focus onto this turret, not going in a 1v1 situation, able to take it down. But hey, this is gonna be a very, very bit of an equalizer that they are looking for. Top lane, turret falling down, 2 turrets already onto the hands of Star Estela Viva.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Estela Viva, they definitely have a chance, to make a comeback and get the economy back on their side. They just need a proper execution, and they have to look for mistakes. This is what they did previously. Kazia, she was strolling around all alone on the map, entering bushes so confidently, and she paid the price for that. So this time around, I hope she learns her lesson, and not try to go for something so risky. At the same time, they have to be, they have to stick together because that is what their composition is screaming. Is screaming stick together
Yeah.
with the glue.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have to definitely be around one another to be able to execute team fights. And man, look at Kazia. She is being chased down by our friend right
Whoa.
here.
Oh my goodness, appraisal threat not doing anything, but it's gonna be the
Oh
Fury
my
able
god.
to grab the kill. Nanami taken down. Mia will be able to get the kill on Maria as well. There's gonna be a taunt coming through. Linksy might be in trouble. Taken down yet again by Mia onto that Kimmy. She wanted to go for more Terry and Mao onto the run. That's gonna be a trade even out by Star Estella Viva. Again, what happened onto the top lane? Kazia, man. She got to be careful, but hey, there's gonna be a stun coming through. Telly, they're trying to defend
Oh,
onto that, but
Kali.
there's gonna be the ultimate being used to walk away. Another turret down, all into the favor of Star Estella Viva. Yet again, they're gonna be trying to get that blue buff, denying Telly from its level 11 is what she is on, and Nanami with the equalizer.
Yeah, this is definitely the equalizer that Estela Viva they needed for them. And now this time around, I feel like there is so much patience coming up from the side of Estela Viva because earlier they were kind of rushing it a bit and they did face the consequence for that. But this time around, they're looking for punishment. They're looking for anyone who's gonna make a mistake, and they're just simply gonna punish those who
Mm,
do. But yeah,
yeah.
this time around, I feel like Kazuya, she really has to position as a marksman,
Mm.
especially being an Ixia, with no dashes whatsoever. You have to be really careful. You can't always rely on the flicker because it has such a long CD. But this again, look at
Oh,
this. This
on.
another
Hey,
fight,
gonna
another
be coming
skirmish. Look
through.
at this
Hey,
outlet.
Tally going into the back lines onto Mia, but onto the other side, there's gonna be the curse of blood. Sui will be taking down Maria, but Tally got into the midst of it all, taken down by Mia. Another stack onto that sky piece. The lore is definitely gonna be free for the side of Star Estella Viva. Guys, they are not into the vicinity. They cannot really go in without the presence of the jungle. That was such a
Oh.
chaotic team fight once.
Yeah, this is just so chaotic, and this time around, I feel like they Kuna guys they're making a really huge mistake because this time around they're
No,
taking for the kill.
yeah! My
I know,
goodness,
my
yet
God, man.
again! Oh my goodness, like you mentioned once, this is not the best of the positioning.
Yeah, this is not the positioning that they Kuna guys they need because Ixia, I don't know what's wrong. This is the fourth time she has been straying away from her teammates and just giving more and more lead to the side of Estela Viva because as a marksman you provide so much pressure, and without the marksman there's just no pressure. But yeah, this time around I was actually thinking like it might be a issue from the end of the Icona guys because Ixia was definitely walking in a straight line right into
Yeah.
the enemies, so it might be a little bit of a connection issue. So yeah, with that we are gonna see a pause right here.
That's what pause is for, take a little bit of a breather. But I think this time around, Star Stella Viva, they did make a very, very great comeback. The starting was so good for the Kona guys that they were looking so solid because of the bad Kazuya that we have seen. And then it comes down to the positioning that she haven't been able to maintain. When you are onto the goal lane and onto a marksman, not the fighters, you want to maintain your goal that you have. And if you can't really do that and keep getting picked off, it's gonna be weakening your items as well, and it's gonna be lessing out the economy that you already built up, and that's not really gonna be worth it. So Kazuya needs a lot of protection, like you already mentioned. The Carmilla is more of a support kind of hero, not to go for the big sustain. They're gonna be needing Linksy to be into the picture so that they will be able to get the perfect positioning. The combination is still definitely gonna be out there, but the execution part, they have to make they couldn't even make a little bit of a mistake because Star Estella Viva, they are so good in punishing all of those overstays coming through from the side of Kazuya or any other players.
Indeed, yeah, I definitely agree with you, Debbie. And also the fact that Estela Viva, they're just being so disciplined this time around. They can see that their enemies, they're having problems, so they're just taking advantage of that. They're not letting go
Mhm.
of any advantage that they can get on board, and they're just seizing it every now and then. And the fact that they are always there to punish Kazaya on the Ixia, and
Mhm.
yeah, their execution, I feel like this time around it's so good because they're also catching up with a lot of items, and this time around the items, it's going to be so helpful for the side of Estela Viva because they do need those items very, very badly, considering the fact that there's just so much you know, so much tankiness on board of Dekona guys. They have the glue, they have the alpha, as well as a wait, what was their EXP actually? I kind of forgot. The glue actually, yeah, the glue,
Yes.
the alpha, and the Carmela. These three tanky lineups, right? They need
Yep.
those damage and they need the stacks on the Sky Piercer. And this time around, I feel like Kimmy, she's doing so good. She's just playing it really safe and utilizing her kit really well. She's being very passive aggressive at the same time, but also maintaining such good positioning that even if she's getting caught on by the Spear of Alpha, she's using her kit so well that she manages to slide back out of it. But yeah, this time around, Debbie, the game is gonna continue, and we can already see the Lord marching onto the top lane there, using its passive and just dashing within the shield.
Ooh, Minion Fury onto Telly, taken down. A Seta will be able to grab that kill, but it's gonna be the one turn into the mid side that they are gonna be focusing on. The Lord taken care of, but hey, it's gonna be the holy blessing that they remove. But Telly, oh my goodness. I
Zaya,
think never
she's
did it.
still-
Oh,
she's
it's coming
standing-
through. Oh my goodness, Nanami. Oh man. It's a bit of emergency coming through. The glue, Linksy taken down, mega kill for Meow onto that Kimmy with another stack. She's gonna be able to walk away with that kill onto their hands. But man, oh man, they'll be able to take down one inhibitors and Holy Blessing into the mid side.
Wow, this is such a big disadvantage for the side of Dekona guys because there's just so much ping issue the entire time. Ixia spawned, she was just standing still on the base. There is definitely a huge connection issue from her end, and I kind of feel pity because this is not fair. But at the same time, you can't help it because that is something which you have to look after for yourself, and there's nothing that the management from our end we can help with because it's out of our hands. So the players have to look into it on their own. But at the same time, we can already see that there is just so much going on onto the map. It seems like Dakota guys, they're being pushed off onto a corner where they can't really get out of it, and they're just being pushed against the wall, and they're just getting
Yeah.
squeezed by Estela Viva because this time around the map control by Estela Viva, it's so huge. Like they have opened up so much of the map that there's no space for Dakuna guys to even move around because this time around we can see that there are only two inhibitors standing onto the side of Dakuna guys. And as for the goal, as for the economy, we can see that Estel Viva, they're leading by 4k goals. So that is still really good for them because the economy was shifting to and fro between
Yep.
these two teams, but in the late game now they have managed to make the economy stay on their side consistently.
This is exactly what you needed when you have this kind of lineup, right? Two marksmen onto your side. You want to have the lead, and the Lord will be secured by Meow without any contest coming through for the side of Dekona, guys. And like you mentioned, they are maintaining the Lord, the goal lead that they have, and with this Lord again, they'll be able to accumulate more more goal lead that they have already than they have already. But yeah, the thing is, it's gonna be a bit easier for the Kona guys to try to defend this lord yet again because they do have the Cursed Blast, which is a very, very good clearer onto the lane as well. And of course, the Ixia with the full barrage too. There's no way Star Stella Viva will be forcing out anything without their resources available.
Yeah, I mean, Estela Viva this time around, the only thing they have to watch out for is their positioning because if they can maintain a good positioning, they can avoid the skills and they can easily go and end the game with this Lord. But yeah, it seems like this time around, the team is definitely going to be split between the mid, top, and bot because they're trying to look for inhibitors. We can already see that Rosaretta, she already got the inhibitor down there. And as for the team, they're trying to push forward more into the base, but yeah, it seems like they're just not going to be able to end the game for now because there's just so much lane clearance coming up from the side of Dekuna guys. But yeah, this time around, another inhibitor will be going down from the side of Dekuna guys. With this, the entire base is wide open.
That's what, the base is completely open. That's gonna be a flicker jump coming through and a knockout. Mean and Fury Elixir taken down and stoppable from Meow, and the base is completely wide open slowly but surely. Star Stella Viva, they end the game with a full calmness and patience
Wow.
with it.
Yeah, this was definitely, a patient, the fruitfulness of patience and discipline coming up from the side of Estela Viva. But I can't help but say that
Uh-huh.
it was a bit of a unfair game, not from not from our end or from the side of Estela Viva. It's just that poor Kazaya on the Iksha, she was just lagging, so that definitely caused big time for Dekona guys. But yeah, nonetheless, the winners are in front of our eyes, and it is going to be Estela Viva.
Estela Viva, man, I think the execution was a very, very important one at that into the start. So as well, they were able to find ways to maneuver around the places that they haven't, I mean, they lost on, and compensation was definitely going to be out there. The steal on the turtle, of course, they were taken down here and there, but then again, they were able to find ways to come back, right? And these
Yeah.
are the reasons why they were able to accumulate the goal that they have lost, and even Kezia and even the pick off that they did onto Kazeya was always on a perfect situation and a perfect time. And if you have that, momentum, the damage is gonna be built up slowly but surely. And of course we can see into the end part also. It wasn't just a rush, it was a slow game. They were slowly pushing together with the lord, and they were going in and getting out the damage, but they were so objective minded that they focused onto the base instead of going for all of those kills. And then, you would have thought that with all the stacks that Mia already had onto that Kimi, right, she would want to go for the kills, but no, she wanted to focus onto the turret. And exactly, that's exactly what even Rosetta onto that CC was doing, and it was perfect that they were
Yeah.
able to get the plans so well. It was too clean of a game, but I feel like they Kona guys, they still have the chance. They have what it takes. They need to prioritize onto their assassin as well, onto the hands of Tally, which is absolutely going to be the Hayabusa too. And Kazuya,
Indeed.
stick with the Ixia, right? Because it was absolutely perfect. It was just unfortunate even for this game.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I would say that Daycona guys, they are, nothing but one of the strongest team in the series right now. And yeah, the only sad, unfortunate thing that happened was the connection issue this time around. But yeah, nonetheless, I feel like the players are definitely gonna sort out something and come up with something better. And as for the draft, I feel like the draft overall from both end it was solid, and yeah, they definitely executed their picks really well, and they made the macro overall so good. But yeah, talking about the macro from the end of Estela Viva, I feel like in the early and mid game there was a bit of a difference in the macro because they were not complementing each other so well, and they were
Yeah.
losing out against Daycona guys. But somehow in the late game they managed to catch their pace, and with time their execution it just got better and better throughout the game. So kudos to Estela Viva as well, because in the late game I feel like they were just unstoppable, and there was nothing that they kind of guys they could have done against them, because their composition, like they have two marksmen, two marksmen, it's just gonna hit you like a truck. Even if there's like three tanks, it's still gonna be useless against two marksmen, because Kimmy, she deals AoE damage. She's so hard to catch with her jetpack. The immobilize on top of that. And as for the Airtel, we already know how much mobility she has in herself. Like, she basically
Mhm.
rides oh well, I don't know what's that, Leo. Yeah, she rides Leo, so she's basically untouchable with the sprint and the heavy crossbow. So yeah, that is something which you have to look out for as well, because the Irritel, one of the most meta marksmen right now in the current meta, so you have to take her out as well.
That's right. It's kind of one of the most important heroes for the tournament as well. It
Yeah,
always has been picked off, and the win rate that the Edison also have was like it's gonna be more than I can't remember exactly, but definitely gonna be up there because. The thing about Airstyle is that it's always going to be scaling, and into the lane as well. It's kind of hard to counter too, so it's more used as a counter than trying to counter it out. So it's definitely going to be one of the most important hero that both of the teams are going to be focusing
indeed.
on to. Yeah, even the Vexana was actually perfect there. I do not have any problem with the draft actually. It's the execution part that
Yeah,
kind of comes down a little bit. And you also did mention that this game is gonna be highly dependent onto the macro, and I felt like the setups coming through from the side of the Kona guys were actually actually perfect, but they are outnumbered most of the time, and they cannot
indeed.
really find out the right angle or the right positioning to try to keep up with the combination that they already had, right? Because of the
Yeah.
cursor blood, it's gonna be there. The full barrage combination definitely amazing, and of course with the glue too, the sticky things, the stun
Oh,
of all of those. It was definitely gonna be amazing if they were able to pull that off, but in the end, it's still into the favor of Star Stella. A little bit of a mishap here and there, but it was clean.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, overall, Dekuna guys, they could have done better. The execution could have been way better. But nonetheless, yeah, there was issues, so we can't ignore that. But yeah, with that, we're just going to be keeping the first game aside because this time around, Debbie, we are heading straight into game number two as Tel Aviv are already with the first win. So now Pepsi, they really have to come up with a redemption this time around because if not, it's going to be a clean sweep and they definitely do not want to face that. But yeah, this time around, we can see Daycona guys will be the first pick, and Estela Viva will be the last. So their positions have basically been swapped, and that is how it usually goes. But yeah, Debbie, this time around, the first
Hmm.
banning phase is already going on, and we can see that Estela Viva they're coming up with another Hayabusa ban. They do not want to give Telly her Hayabusa. They are just pressuring her into going for another junglers. They're just not gonna give her her comfort pick no matter what. And as for Kazaya as well, they're not gonna give her her Nathan because Kazaya, we did see what she can do with the Nathan in the late game. She can
Mm,
obliterate 5 people. But yeah, Daycona guys, on the other hand, it seems like they're going for so many respect bans. Look at their bans, Debbie. Oh my god. They're
yeah.
going for the PC ban, the Kimi ban, as well as the Bane. I feel like the Bane could have been left open. So, it would have forced out Estela Viva to ban off the Bane and, they could have picked something more meta. But nonetheless, the bans are pretty solid. And this time around, Daycona guys, they can definitely opt for Kadita or a Irtel. And yeah, there we go. We are seeing the goddess of the ocean into the side of Daycona guys.
God in the ocean. That's gonna be the Kadita first pick, so it's kind of stopping Star Stella Viva to go for any kind of assassin, not even the Yishin Shin, because it's still gonna be a bit of a pressure, right? But if they wanted to go for the Lancelot, I think it's definitely gonna be a very, very solid pick. I like the bands, right? I like the bands
Yeah,
coming through from Star Stella Viva. They did their cards right. They wanted to remove the Hayabusa and the Natan, like you mentioned, altogether. These two should go. So they are gonna be having the advantage to pick out the Irital yet again, which this time around I think the Irital should bring the Purify. I mean, the sprint is gonna be out there, right? If she is able to find the right positioning, I don't think she will be caught by the Kadita anytime soon. But still, for protection you can bring out the purify too, it's still definitely gonna be okay. But
yeah.
Esmeralda as early as the first pick, I don't know. I thought maybe they could prioritize onto the assassin that can dive into the backlines, mainly the Lancelot or even the Yishin. But yeah, the Yishin was out of the picture because of this Kadita. But it's still safe to say that the Kona guys they can play for the Lancelot here, but if they don't want to do that, they can bring out the utility too. Even the Basha is still open. Baksha is a very very good hero
Indeed.
against Esmeralda as well.
Yeah, I feel like, they can definitely go for the Baxia because it can really counter out the Esmeralda as well. But yeah, nonetheless, Debbie, we are seeing an Angela pick and a Gatot. So I feel like this time around, Dekuna guys, they will definitely lean onto utility jungle, but they're keeping that on a whole because they do not want to reveal their jungle card as early as right now. So they're keeping it for the last pick. I'm hoping for because yeah, you do not want to get countered by the
Yeah.
Xbox. And yeah, this is what
Oh
I'm
my
talking
god.
about. Even if you keep it for the last pick, Estela Viva, they can already smell that you're going for the utility jungle with the Angela on your side. So they're like,
Mm.
fine, we're not gonna ban your utility jungle. We're just gonna pick the ultimate counter for the utility
Yeah.
jungle, which is none other than the Xbox.
The thing I always hated about the Gatot into the XP is that he's not really available all over the places, especially when he is put against the Yisen Sin, right? But I think this time around it can really work out because they do have an Angela and a great rotation with the Kadita as well. But like you mentioned, the expert pick is definitely stopping Star Estella Viva. No, they gonna guys to pick out the utility into the jungle yet again. It can also be very crucial for them to go for the assassins too because they have to focus on to the Edital as well, man. And the thing is, now that they have an XP laner already into the cards, they need to have a winning lane into the XP against the Esmeralda. I don't think the Gatot have that much of a great clearance, but the rotation wise, yeah, they cannot really stay into the lane that much, and the Gatot into the XP is what I hate. But still, Wikona guys, they went for the Angela even though they already see the Esmeralda, which is kind of a very bossy thing to do, even though with the
Yeah,
shields that he already
yeah.
have, right? But yeah, Vexana bands coming through from the side of the Kona guys, they have to respect this Vexana band. If they want to play the Gatot in a very safe manner or in a way that they want him to sustain, you got to remove all the crowd control, right? The Gatot is weak against this kind of crowd control, especially
Indeed.
the Vexana. But look at the bands though. Star Estella Viva, they are highly focusing on to this hero pool from Telly.
Yeah, they're definitely targeting Telly and Kazaya because this time around we can see that two jungle bans and two goal lane bans. So they're definitely, picking out the main damage dealer from the side of Dekona guys. And this might actually be, it might actually be very good for the side of Estela Viva because they're creating so much pressure. The Beatrix is out of the picture, so, there's no place for her to make the place with her four weapons. And yeah, I feel like Dekona guys they can go for something crazy. Like Debbie,
Mm-hmm.
what if we go for a Masha goal lane? I feel like in late game
That's
she
so
will
cool.
obliterate anyone
Yeah.
because if you're not gonna get those comfort picks, why not cook up something so unexpected that will flabbergast the enemy, and it will just put them on a chokehold.
That's why I think it's still a very crazy idea. If they go for it, I will be very shocked. But yeah, the damage is definitely gonna be out there for the Masa. But yeah, I don't think Masa is a hot pick. If it is picked away, it's still gonna be the first time ever that the Masa will be picked, right? But it's still gonna be okay. But hey, Khadid Kalea will be into the roam right now, so the lineup is actually set through for the Shadow Stars Tel Aviv. They just need a burst damage to go together with the Kalea, which kind of the Lunox can really do that job. Even the Kadita and no the Kagura.
Yeah,
Kagura can work here too against the Kadita and the Angela as well, and it's gonna be a very great combination with the Kalea. But now it's gonna be the Kona guys who's gonna be picking out what are the heroes that's still available for them. It has to be the jungle and the marksman. So any marksman that can be good against the Iristel. If they pick out the Ixia, there's always gonna be a dive coming through the Kalea as well as the
yeah,
Esmeraldas. Got to be careful. Leomore
yeah.
and Leslie, huh? Wow.
Okay. Wow. I was having Leslie somewhere around the corner of my mind because with the Kalia, there is just no space for utility jungle because if you are a utility jungle, you have no way of escaping the Kalia because she can basically just pull you all the way to her teammates, and you're just history. So they have to go for something that can avoid the Kalia, but I don't feel like a Leomord can actually avoid Kalia. He does have a bit of mobility and that sustain and damage. But considering the fact that the composition of Estela Viva that they have right now, it's so tanky. At the same time, such a high DPS lineup that they have, and combining the Fusion as a last pick from the side of Estela Viva, I feel like the Fusion is a cherry on top of a cake from the side of Estela Viva because the Fusion, she's got to be such a menace for the Cathod, for the Leomord, and as well as the Leslie. The Leslie will have a very hard time in this game. I can definitely say that because the only person that can snowball in the early game is Dekona guys. From Dekona
Mm.
guys is the Leomord. And I don't feel like the Leomord will have an easy time against this kind of a composition that Estela Viva they have. But nonetheless, we are back into the game, and Debbie take us through it.
Let's go into the lineup. Don't, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be die situation for Dekona guys here. that match number 2, we are going in best of 3 series, and we're gonna be seeing the Kono guys into the blue side and stars the Leviva onto this red side. A little bit of a change up into their players, into their heroes as well. But this time around, I wish that they have the greatest of the connections this series, so that we'll be able to see a lot of Broly composition.
Yeah, this is definitely a composition that they have to be really careful of. They gonna guys the Leslie. Oh my god, this
Oh,
this is not
flicker!
something that you want to be Kazaya. Kazaya, you have to use the bushes. You have to utilize the bush. Just stay on the bush, last hit the minion, and go back to your turret. That's all you can do as a Leslie in the early game. Do not try to go toe-to-toe with another marksman, especially an Irotel. She has a great damage in the early game against squishy heroes. So yeah, a 1v1 against her with a Leslie is not a wise choice.
But it's important that you kind of try to understand what the laning is going to be like as well. Onto the bottom lane though, I think this is what I kind of hated, hated and like at the same time about the combination already for the side of Rekana guys, because they put a Gato Gacha into the bottom lane, which means the XP side, right? And it's actually Mariah, which was the Carmilla earlier on, and Linksy is actually onto the Angela as well. They have a chance into their lane too. But hey, it's gonna be a winning lane for the side of Rosareta, which I do not really want a Gato to do, because as a Gato Gacha, you really want to move all over the map and try to get that timings right, the taunts right.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like, they kind of guys with the Gatot, it might be really risky, to have a Gatot on your side against this kind of a lineup, because there's not much that you can do. And look at the Jujin just being a menace and already putting so much pressure onto the Leomar that he's just unable to, even go around the turtle and secure it. And that was just an easy turtle for the side of Tel Aviva. But look at this. Oh my god. Midway from that kill, she just pushes her out. I did not know that was possible. I thought she was CC immune.
It is actually the micro decision coming through from Mia, right? She was able to do that. But hey, that's gonna be the Engage Tsunami Slam onto Lexi the Angela. One more hit will not be able to survive first blood for Yui. But she's gonna be in trouble here yet again. Does have to be able to walk away. The ultimate snipe. One hit. Kensia will be able to get a kill on Sue as well. But that's gonna be Tally in trouble. Taken down. No Phantom Stampede to help her walk away. No Barbil, man. That's the horse owner taken down as well.
Yeah, I feel like, Telly, she is having such a hard time because her comfort picks are taken out of the picture, and she's not really comfortable with the fighter jungle, neither the utility, because the utility was out of the picture the moment the Xbox was picked.
Yeah.
So Telly, she was definitely pushed to her limits, and she just had to sort out something, and she decided to go for the Leomord. Not the best choice for now, but yeah, look at this Debbie. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Link.
Such
This
a
is the end. And this is why the pick off heroes are actually good against the Angela, because you can get pick off. You do not pick off the other heroes. You just focus onto the Angela and burst her down before she can even use the hard guard.
Yeah, definitely, because when you have a clear on the enemy side, you need a purify, and I don't see a single purify from the side of Dekona guys. They're underestimating the Kalia so much that they're definitely gonna be paying the price for, because yeah, there's no way you're gonna use a flicker to get out of a tsunami slam.
That's the problem with that. But hey, there's gonna be a Phantom Step coming too with the bread buff on toe. It's gonna be Restoreta trying to go in. Tsunami Slam connecting. It's gonna be one member, and the high grab being used as well. But Restoreta will be diving into the backline for Rhea, not be able to survive. AOC not landing on this. Let's deliver out to the backline. It's gonna be the last. And it's a double kill for Nanami. Rough ways for survival. Tally onto the chopping block to still be removed from the land of Dawn. The Leomord not having the greatest time, but the turtle is definitely into the hands of Stars de la Viva yet again, and that's gonna be the only compensation, which is gonna be the gold plating that they are looking for. Shu, the rotation was perfectly on point because he was able to grab those kills.
Yeah, this is just so unfortunate for the side of Dekona guys, because they're facing so much pressure right now. And look at the Leslie, look at Kazaya. She's being ganged by 3 people, and this
Tsunami Slam and the hard guy is yours, but it's not gonna be enough. Meow will be able to grab that kill onto her as well. Green Frog traded out with the turret, but it's gonna be okay because that is a rumor. You're giving your life for a gold laner, all in favor of Stella Viva yet again.
Oh my god, Debbie, that was so unfortunate because Zaya, she did not even get that kill. She couldn't hit a single hit onto the Kalia that she didn't get any gold from that third kill. So it was basically just a third execution. But yeah, this time around, another hard guard, and that is just not gonna be, much of a use right now because they can't really go in. And yeah, there is another snipe from Leslie just to check out the bushes and stay on the safe edge here. But look at Esmeralda.
Okay, she might be in trouble, getting very low, does have the seal, it's gonna be a re-engage coming through, Tsunami Slam not there just yet, but AOZ will be cancelled upon, there we go, the Tsunami Slam connecting onto Maria, Rostareta will be able to grab that kill. Star Stella Viva, they are forcing engage upon engage onto the other side, there's gonna be Kelly, Phantom Stampede being wasted away. And that's gonna be the true damage coming through from the Xbox that we are talking about. Nanami having the time of her life, trying to focus onto this objective all over the places, not getting contested a point. But Meow, hey, you don't want to do that with your jungle. Come on.
Wow, Meow, she just said, let me have the turtle soup this time.
Yeah, this time.
But yeah, this was the third turtle for the side of Estella Viva. The pressure is so much, and the goal lead, it's definitely onto the side of Estella Viva this time around. Even an invasion is coming up, so this is it's looking really tough for the side of Dekona, guys. They have no damage whatsoever, no lead, no goal, no damage. They are just being put on a chokehold, no breather whatsoever. And yeah, this time around they're gonna be losing turrets through and fro because there's just so much lane pressure at the same time.
Yep, that's the problem it needs. But hey, there's gonna be a taunt connecting onto Rosareta and a knock as well. The Vengeance will be popped too, but she'll not be eating on the damage. But hey, AOZ not connecting onto anyone, but it's gonna be the displacement coming through as well. The ultimate is the Tsunami Flame connecting onto Maria, and that's gonna be the re-engage today. Taken down, it's gonna be Maria taking very low double kill for Nanami. The rough waves coming through as well, not dealing enough damage, but it's gonna be the engagement coming through from Estella Viva. They are trying to find more triple kill for Nanami. One more hit will be enough, but there's no follow-up or executioner for the side of Dekona, guys, to try to trade it out, but Green Frog yet again executed by the tower.
Oh my gosh, this is so unfortunate for Dekona, guys. Their composition, it is definitely not paying the bills because this time around, they can't really get the economy on their side, and they cannot get any item. Take a look at the build actually. Leslie, merely just 2 items. Merely 2 items because she's just almost on the edge of completing the Sky Piercer. Has only a Berserker's Fury. So that is not going to be enough to dish out damage. And as for, the side of Estella Viva, we can see that Irtel already on almost a 7k goal lead with 3 items on the way. And yeah, she already has her core items for the early game sustain, which is the Windtalker and the Hasclaw. So that is really good for them. And yeah, Debbie, we can already see Estella Viva not taking any chances, not gonna overestimate Dekona, guys, and they're definitely gonna go and rush for that 9-minute Lord right here.
That's exactly what you want to do when you are so ahead onto the goal, and I think Stella Viva, they also understand what they are capable of doing, sir, and they do not want to drag the game as well, because now when you take out the 9-minute lore instead of the turtle, you kind of wanted to go for all of those direct to end instead of going for the late game. But hey, that's gonna be the Farraga armor being popped to Nanami will be okay, because there's no way this is gonna be taken down just like that. The lineup coming through for Dekona, guys, hasn't been in favor for them.
Yeah, it's definitely not favoring them. This is what I was talking about, They have no one to carry the early game. And as for the late game, there's no late game for them because by the time, the late game comes, Estella Viva will be ending the game because they will be on such a huge lead. The gap will be too much to close, and, it's just going to be an end game. And look at our Rosetta on that Esmeralda, just creating so much pressure. Another jump, but no Tsunami Slam pop whatsoever.
That's actually a resource that's not being burned because you are really careful. But hey, it's gonna be the Flicker coming through! Tsunami Slam on the Lacey! The high ground will be used as well, but she will be able to survive. But another one onto the backline, that's gonna be the rough waves being used. Nanabi will be able to grab that kill. Godlike for her as well. The Sky Piercer working in favor, but Kazuya only trying to defend onto them as well, not doing anything enough because this is a Leslie without a damage coming through as well. Restoreta dancing onto the faces of the side of Dekona guys will not be taken down anytime soon. No damage whatsoever for the side of Dekona guys. The minion is still coming in, pouring in. The bottom lane is what they want to focus on. Siu will be able to take that turret down. The base is completely wide open. Inhibitors Lol not left alone, but Linksy will be taken down as well. The heavy castle will be used on the back line. That's gonna be the tsunami slam connected. Tally going down, double kill for Siu. They want to go for a triple kill. One more hit and it's gonna be enough for a minute, but no, they are not gonna give the minute because the base is what they want. Dekona guys will be stampeded upon. Star Estella Viva with the clean sweep win.
Oh my. This is so unfortunate for Daycona guys. A clean sweep by Estela Viva here tonight. And man, Debbie, this was a very fast BO2, I would say, because the game was supposed to stretch to a best of 3. But yeah, the kind of a performance that we saw from the side of Daycona guys was not very fulfilling. And man, I do have to say that this game, I would say that this game was like a kitchen. The battlefield was a chopping board. The ingredients were definitely Daycona guys. And, Estela Viva, they were the chopping knife. They were just chopping everything, on the chopping board. And yeah, anything that Daycona guys, they poured out there onto the Estela Viva, they retaliated back thrice of what they poured out onto the battlefield. And yeah, this is the end result. We can see that, Angela, Linksy, oh my god, you did not even complete a single item. You are just so behind on goal as a roamer that you couldn't even, go for a proper defense or a proper support item, which is the Flask of Oasis. We can see that, she's just so concerned about being tanky that she's going for half tank and not even completing the full build. She's just trying to, balance out. But that balancing out is not gonna work if you have no goal on your side. We can see that she has all the half built for the glowing one, half built for the anti-Karas, and half built for the Flask of Oasis. This is just so painstaking to look at. But yeah, nonetheless, this is a best of 3, and it is a clean sweep by Estela Viva.
The Laviva, they are the one coming through, trying to fight their way into the semifinals on the lower brackets. And it's gonna be the end journey for Dekona guys, but they performed so well, I would say, with the tournament runs that they had. They had an amazing run in the lower brackets as well, but this will be their end. But yeah, I hope they come back for the next round, of course, because it's very sad to see them going. But Stars Televiva, they prove their place into this Queen's Legacy series. They want to stay in this, but we're gonna be seeing who their opponent is gonna be for the next best of 3 series, because we are coming up for more. One more game is what we have. This is the lower bracket, guys. We have one more best of 3, and before that, we'll be coming back with a change up of caster and of course a change up of the players as well, the squads. We're gonna be seeing another one, but before that, let us take a short break, and yeah, we'll be tuning in again.
Welcome to Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw. Welcome to Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw. Welcome to Double 11! Amazing prices! Amazing styles! Win big in Mega Draw! Lowest prices, incredible benefits. Welcome to Double 11! Amazing prices, amazing styles! Win big in Mega Draw! Lowest prices, incredible benefits. to double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw. Lowest prices, incredible benefits.
Good evening and welcome back everyone to Queen's Legacy series brought to you by Wardrum Games. And here we are on to the lower brackets. And this time it is going to be a best of three series between Team Yashirin Bish Club going up against Team Yama Celestial. So already actually here we are onto the banning as well as the picking phase already. They have already progressed with the drafts. And short introductions for myself as well as Shindu, who will be onto the casting decks. So Shindu already here, the picks have already been picked out. So quick thoughts regarding the draft.
Well, this is too much to take in already, right? Right as we speak, we just see, the heroes getting picked up. I do like the trades of though, but for a Kadita, you trade off the Zushin. I think that's a bit too overkill, right? Right in the mid lane because the control is very important. Yes, you do have the burst damage, you have the breath of the ocean for the knocker, but I think in terms of the mid control, the Zushin kind of outplays the Kadita in a lot of ways, right? The Kadita is more of an assassin than like a mid laner at this point that I take. But again, they also pick up the Nathan and the Badang. So I do like that approach because that kind of negates the possibility of this assassin coming in. And, they kind of struggle against the Badang in a lot of way. And even for this Nathan, he can really reposition for himself. But what are your thoughts for the picks of Yama Celestial though?
Yama Celestial, Alice as well as the Ruby already getting revealed out. So most probably, I think this is a gold lane Ruby, which is quite working out really well onto the gold lane. The fighter thing, thanks to the adjustments that happen onto the gold side, like the grabs, they are carrying a lesser bounty compared to before. It's not like the 120 gold, and earlier on it is like only 90 to 80. So even the fighters are working onto the gold lane quite massively. So the marksmen's, it will be taking some time to farm. And when it comes to the itemization, I do believe once the fighters are also able to keep it up, then it is going to definitely work out. And Yama Celestials, most probably they are going for the respect bans because Julian as well as Carmilla, we don't see them often onto the banning phase.
Absolutely, I do understand the approach that is, they're trying to target ban, and with the Julian getting banned, that's almost like three jungles or three, actually four junglers getting banned this time, right? They won't have their, they do have the YSs, at least for Yama Celestial. If they want to flex the Ruby into the goal lane, that could be a good approach because the marksman hyper definitely, I feel, kind of gives more value out of those assassins because the assassins kind of falls off. With the marksman, you can at least, have that late game insurance in the sense that you have a scaling composition which can deal damage over time. And even for the early game, you do have those, cheesy picks like the Zushin, like the even the Ruby in some sense. So I do think it's pretty worth it. But at the same time, like even at the fourth slot, they're getting the Chow and not their jungler. So what are they, keeping under their sleeves? Because the Hayabusa is open one, the YSS is open. So it kind of counter outs the YSS. Apart from that, what other heroes do you think can be a probability? Like the Baxia is also open. So do you think they will go for, this tanky, utility based of junglers out here?
I think they are kind of lacking when it comes to the damage output because the Ruby, she is more of a sustain, but she can go with the damage build with the correct emblems as well as the spells. So Ruby, I think to tank out the damage early game wise, she will be able to sustain a lot. Oh my goodness, long time no see. I haven't seen a Martis, and I was already talking about the damage output, and here we are with the Ishanshin. Yishanshin works out really well when you have a fighter gold laner, and this guy is assassin marksman, so he will be able to farm out a lot, and he is known as one of the fastest junglers onto the game right now.
Definitely, definitely. I feel the speed at which this YSS can cover up the map and even farm himself is currently unmatched for a lot of heroes, unless you're an assassin, because those assassin can get those early kills, kind of even go for those invades. Because of that, they can actually farm up pretty quickly. Apart from that, it's very unlikely that most heroes can match the farming speed, at least for the YSS. So it's a really good matchup. The Martis at least is really good in the early game, kind of falls off in the late game, whereas the YSS is for the late game, right? I was talking about the late game insurance. It comes in the name of YSS. And both the draft is really rounded off well. I do like the front to back composition both the teams are going for. But the main damage dealer, at least for the side of team Yadichin Bish Club, would be, the Nathan, at least in the late game, and the Kadita in some sense, that if she can get the pick off, which is
Yeah.
not going to be very easy in the late game though.
I do agree. Like you have already mentioned it out that Kadita is more of an assassin, so she can just do the camp out things. But the problem is to do the one shot, shot kind of a thing. You need to make sure you will be marking out one of the members who are quite vulnerable, the ones who are not that tanky. And Yama Celestials, their lineup is very tanky, except for the YSS. And here we are on to the second game, like second match for the night. Game number 1 against Team Yashirin Base Club taking on Team Yama Celestial. And on to my surprise, it is Sarah onto the jungle.
Crazy, right? we are used to see her on the roaming position. This time, actually, Remy will take the roaming position for the side of Yama Celestial. I think she's really practicing out well, right? Because I've heard some rumors, and I think the rumors are true, in fact. So, with the help of the team, again, you can see a bit of invade coming in for the green jungle cramp, at least out there. But there's a knock-up on towards Sarah. She uses the traceless to get out, but the mortal coil is there. But again, you can see she's getting stuck up, but again wants to go for the assassination. Might be too overkill here, and Dave Sarah will pick up the first blood here, and again Minotaur is trying to run, but Priya, that's the end of line for you, because Remy picks up the kill, and that actually makes the scoreboard 0 for 2 right in the first minute of the game.
Yeah, definitely. There's the flicker as well. Oh, right on time,
God.
actually. Resets gets taken down. It was a 2 for 0 trade just for now, but the flicker, I thought it was kind of a bait, but it was actually worth it because Alice was taken down low, and Badang, she was able to get the kill out somehow, but the overextension onto the jungle side. Even if you are a Martis, they have a Jushin for their side, and it works out well against a fighter
True.
as well as utility jungler.
I mean, I've been mentioning that, right, from the drafting stage, that the mid control will be definitely in the hands of Yama Celestial, because they have more utility when it comes down to that pick. And again, there is the Mountain Shocker on towards Priya. She's chunked low, does not have the flicker, gets picked off, lifted here, but again able to get out. Martis is there trying to go in with the Mortal Coil, but at the same time the turtle has spawned, and you can see Yama Celestial, they will be the first to start it off. Sarah is just double thinking. Bot lane again, you can see the Badang is low. Kiyomi needs to back off because the rest of the troop is already there to provide the support. But again, there is the Kadita goes in with the redefine combo onto us Remy, but she's able to get out with the Shunpo. At the same time, Martis wants to go in, but gets picked off and cannot use the decimation onto us Remy, and a good spiel coming out from Suki, and this actually helps the team to survive that onslaught that could have been just on their end if Martis could have, Nexon could have just get that Mortal Coil, or even the pick. Again, this time V, a bit of overextended out there in the midst of 4 members, falls. But again, Suki's there with the Lantern Flare, picks up Priya here, she does not have that level 4 yet, so cannot use the Minion Fury. At the same time, the turtle is up, and Yama Celestial, they're just trying to dance around it. Both the teams, they want to get for a good setup, but it seems like Yama Celestial wants to prioritize their purple buff. At the same time, the side of team Yarichin Bish Club is taking the advantage and wants to take down this turtle, but at the same time, there is a rotation again. Rough waves being used up. Sarah is pretty low, but the turtle is really low. Who's going to get the retribution? We really early used on, and next turn will find the turtle, but at the same time, there is again V falling, and Clea will pick up the kill, and next turn will find the kill onto Asuki, and Remy is low, but she will also fall. Next turn finds a double, and with this, Yarichin Bish Club finds themselves some good trades.
Definitely a 2 for none. It was actually a 3 for none as well as the turtle. So a good head start, let's say, as well as the Martyrs already getting the Sky Piercer onto his hands. So we already, mentioned it out that Martyrs, he has a really strong early game. And the fact that, Sarah, she did try to contest for the turtle, but the problem is Alice doesn't have that much of a sustainability when it comes to the early game. So she is definitely going to be struggling when it comes to tanking out the damage. So they need to make sure holding out would be a better option rather than engaging. But speaking of engages, there might be the Mountain Shaker coming up as well as an engage onto the top side.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to poke each other out, but no engages so far. I think they just want to play it safe, at least for Yama Celestial, right? But again, the Mountain Shocker being used, and Althea will be able to get out of the harm's way. Still, they're just trying to play it a bit slow. They have a good positioning, but bot lane, VE getting the fist crack and break combo. Again, you can see she's chunked low, but again, able to survive and actually heal up really quickly. And Badang, that is Hyomi, has to pull up the flicker at the same time, so that's a big resource out. However, Yama Celestial, they're in the vicinity of the top lane, want to find and engage. The Way of the Dragon is definitely there, but Priya has a good, deal for the team, so she can cancel out the Way of the Dragon. Again, flicker really used early on by Remy. Was that really necessary?
I don't think so, actually. She could have been just, instead of just using out the flicker to escape, she would have been using it out in order to engage. So quite a waste of a spell when it comes to the fact that the second turtle will be spawning, and Yama Celestials, I don't think they are on to a position to be actually contesting the turtle unless Siren just, rotates from the top and tries to get out some trades, but Sarah tries to get some visions, but there might be the engage, but once again, Nexon gets the turtle and no engages by far, but when it comes to the objectives, YBC are a little bit ahead.
Definitely. And I'm kind of surprised to see one thing, Kiyomi just pick up the DHS, meaning that she's actually going for the damage build here. And this is very different from how we see, right? For most of the Badang players, at least.
Yeah, definitely. Mostly, even if we are going up onto the ranks, we see Badang onto the tanky build, going onto the EXP, but they might be thinking out the fact that Badang Kiyomi is more comfortable when it comes to giving out the damage. So that might be the reason why she just decided to go out with a damage Badang instead of a utility kind of a Badang, and a pause coming up from one of the side of the team. But by far, YBC are having a really good head start, and Yama Celestials, in order to come back onto the game, I do believe they will be, requiring a better trades.
Absolutely. And this is quite understandable because the drop from YBC is kind of, directed to the early game, meaning that they should be getting the early game pretty easily in their pocket. Whereas for the side of Yama Celestial, they need to get items onto Vasara. They need items onto even the Alice, that is V. And if they do not have those items, it's very difficult for them to either sustain the team fight or even dish out the damage that is necessary to take down anyone. And even if Remy kicks somebody, I don't see enough damage to actually punish them out. And that's going to be a problem, at least in the early game. So giving those early turtles is still okay as long as they do not concede much turrets. And even the Lord, I feel like a level 1 Lord is still okay if you cannot contest. But from level 2 Lord, you definitely need to brace yourself to fight. Because if you do not fight, you will be giving a lot of advantage and a lot of gold. Because in this match, the gold is going to be very important. If the Nathan gets too much gold, it's going to be very, very difficult for the side of team Yama Celestial to try and compete or even sustain the damage. And as you can see in the early game, the Martis is already strong. And if this draft kind of snowballs into a point that, even the YSs cannot scale up really good, it's going to be really big trouble for Yama Celestial, man.
Yeah, I do agree. And speaking of the damage resource as well, Yama Celestials, the draft is also heavily reliant onto utility, and mostly it is only the YSS for now who could be dishing out the damage, as well as the engages could have been done by Remy as well. But by far, they were kind of getting invaded, and the first invade, as the first blood as well as the double they got, that was the only trade they had for their side. And after that, it was completely YBC who came up back from the mistakes, and they focused more onto the objectives, and by far it is working out for their sides. It's already been the mid phase of the game is already about to be up, and I think the pause is also going to be up anytime soon. So here we are back onto the game, but Yama Celestials, I think they definitely will be requiring some shutdowns.
That is absolutely true. And I think the sooner the better for sure as well. Because if they want to have their draft scale up or even find some good trades, they need to have the damage necessary. And it's only going to happen when they get hold of the gold. And so far, they do not have much gold into their pockets. And this is going to be a bit difficult for them, given the fact that, right now the gold is into the hands of YBC. Again, bot lane, Remy wants to go in with the Way of the Dragon, has a good positioning, but again, Mortal Coil will be used, meaning that Nexon is actually immune. Again, top lane, Ruby gets engaged on by 3 members, but able to flicker out a good combo. Again, Rough Waves completely missed out, and that might be an overextension. Priya falls, and a good I'm Offended being used up. At the same time, there is gonna be 2 members still lurking around, but I think the turret should be falling. Yes, it does, and that's the first turret on the structure falling. Oh, bot lane V though in a bit of trouble, but able to get out at the right time. So I think even the side lanes, they need some rotation at this point because they're not able to hold on their own.
Yeah, and the fact that Yama did get one of the trades, but still it is still not enough considering the fact the gold lead is still extending favorable for the side of Team YBC, and Martes trying to find out some trades, Remy trying to get out of the vision, a beautiful flicker combo.
Oh, but again, Nexon just overextend that and it actually falls. There's a good shutdown coming into the hands of Team Yama Celestial, and that should open up the turtle. Remy has a good positioning, also has the Way of the Dragon. Well, actually does not have the Way of the Dragon, but again, Althea wants to go in, and even Priya does have that Minion Fury. Do they want to engage here? I don't think so, because without Retribution, that might be a very overstretched. Remy has a good positioning, but here comes V. But again, look at the turtle. There will be the Minion Fury, but does not really connect onto anyone. But at the same time, there is a rough face, but not enough to take anybody down. But again, here comes the damage from the side of Team Yama Celestial, but we will be the first to fall. Kiyomi has enough damage because of her build, but again, Priya wants to go in, gets the Way of the Dragon onto her face, and Suki will find the kill, but at the same time, Kiyomi wanted to go in, but at this time, Sarah will be there to punish her down, and that's 2 kills given to the hands of Team Yama Celestial. 1-4-2 trade, but still favoring the side of Team Yama Celestial. Again, Nexon wants to go in, but okay, still not, enough for them.
Yep, and look at the Martis actually going for the rose gold, something I didn't actually expect, but yeah, it will be giving out you the additional shield. But speaking of the team fight that was before, beautiful engage from Remy, as well as they directly decided to focus for the objectives, and they were able to get it. And look at the scoreboard as well as the goal lead, it is already equal. So it is safe to say that Yama Celestials are back onto the game, but still, the engages as well as the disengages would either happen from both of the sides. We, on to the other hand, she is trying to sustain it out, but I do believe, she doesn't have that much of a sustainability. And other disadvantage for her is the Badang is onto a damage build. So, she needs to be making sure before getting those defense items, she can't be able to tank that much damage.
Absolutely, and if she goes to try and sustain that, okay, Remy has a good positioning, but gets the punch on her face. But she wants to go for a kick this time, punch for kicks. But again, bot lane, V is really low against 2 member. I think that should be a first tier turret given to the side of YBC. And yes, they want to really go aggressive here, but that might be an overkill. Again, you can see the entropy being used, but not enough range. But again, Priya is really stagnated out here, gets the Way of the Dragon, and we will find that kill. But again, Lane is still there, trying to dish out some damage. But look at the backside, there will be Remy falling in the hands of Nexon, and again on the turret, Nexon goes in and finds herself a double actually, and at the same time they want to take down the second tier here. Yama Celestial, they need to rotate, but I don't think so it's going to be on time. Yes, the second tier falls, and that's more map space given to the side of YBC, and they're happy and content with that, walks away happily.
Yeah, and the Lord already being spawned, and YBC, some way or another, they are still finding out the traits. So the game is looking pretty equal. Oh wow, look at the timings actually. 2C halberds, considering the fact they will be requiring the anti heals, because their draft is completely. We have already discussed it out. It's completely dependent upon the utilities. So the Lord already being spawned. I think there might be the engages coming up. Oh my god, Priya might be taken down onto the process this time.
Oh, there's so much damage, but again, the minion fury is there. But look at the backline. Priya does fall in the hands of Ruby, and this time they're going for a full-fledged fight. And that might be an overkill this time, overloaded with damage. And Yama Celestial, they lose 3 members. Reem is still there with the peel. Go for the way of the dragon under the turret and takes down Nixon, but she will fall. Double kill for Kiyomi. Blood for blood. No jungler though, but they do have the marksman. They should be getting this Lord without any contest because there's no one there to actually go in and steal this one for sure. 3 versus 1. I think YBC, they got this one.
Yeah, 4 for 2 as well as Suki, only the member remaining for the side of Inyama. So an uncontested Lord like Shinju has already mentioned it out. So the defense most probably should be quite okay-ish because they do have the turrets for the side. Mid tier is yet to fall, but from the bot, it's only the inhibitor remaining. So some way or another, if Team YBC they are able to sing those lanes, and if they are able to find out some trees, then maybe some more towers will be gone. But I most probably think it will be requiring one more Lord E from one of the sides to actually end out the game. And YBC, by far they are doing out pretty well. And the thing is, the Nathan, look at the scaling of the Nathan actually. The Ruby is almost equal to the gold, but still he hasn't fallen down even once. That is one of the main factors.
That is absolutely true, but the thing is, they need to find some good targets because you can see every time Yama Celestial are going in, they're getting clumped up together, and because of that, they're getting punished really quick on, right? And if you get really close knitted where the damage can really be AoE, that's going to give you a lot of problem. But again, mid lane, there's a pick off. Again, you can see a lot of damage being dished out, but this time, I don't think so. They might just find a kill yet. At the same time, they're getting backed off Yama Celestial. They should be playing it up bit safe, right? Priya does have the minion fury. They want to really take that engage, but okay, Remy is still there. So is Suki, but she gets chunked low. But again, Priya wants to go in, does not have the minion fury anymore. And the minions are there, but they should be getting cleared out pretty easily this time. Yeah, it's still like a long game for sure. Again, mid lane though, getting a bit pressured. Zara cannot clear it out, and they will actually lose out an inhibitor really early on with just the first Lord. Even without the Lord, right? So, okay. Goes in with the way of the dragon, but okay. She cannot get out this time. Lane will take it down, but again, a good set coming out from V. And if Yama Celestial can, yes, they will take down Althea. And again, V falls 1 for 1. But again, double kill for Nexon. And she might find a triple. No, she's really low. Sarah finds her double. And she's trying really hard to hold it on. 2 members versus 3. They do not have any minions. Again, there is a Mountain Shocker stunning out Priya. But okay, they're getting zoned out. Minion Fury already used up. But I think that's enough time bought for the rest of the teams to be back on map. And yeah, my Celestial, they should be able to hold it on. Kiyomi is there, but there's no follow-up for the members because they're kind of far away. So they are able to defend, man.
Yeah, some way or another, even if Yama Celestial did lose out more members, it was a 3 for 2, but still, if Remy actually didn't engage onto that, then maybe it would have been over as well, considering the fact the inhibitor, like we were discussing it out, it was already taken down. So, if they didn't came up with the engages, then they would not be able to buy out enough time to defend out the Besara as well as the Ruby. They were able to defend it, but look at the goal lead from the Nathan. He's already over 10.2k, and there is the engages are yet to be done. The second Lord being spawned, but the question is, will Yama Celestial actually contest for this one? But most probably it will be an uncontested one. Badang making sure the zoning is coming up, and once again YBC getting the second Lord for their side. The defense is going to be really tough because it's only one inhibitor tower remaining, and before the minions get onto that, they need to find some better trades in order to defend it.
Definitely, and they did not even get to snip the Lord, man. That's what I was gonna say. And look at that, such a bad timing. Lin just picked up the Holy Crystal, and this is gonna really hurt the side of Yama Celestial, and this is going to be a very difficult defense. It seems like they're also picking up some items, but is it going to be enough? Because they have a lot of minions to clear out. It's not the best lane sync that we're looking at, but still the Lord is there in the mid lane. Yama Celestial, they're trying to hold it out before it reaches the base crystal. But again, Remis really chunked low, able to get out with the help of the flicker, defensively used. At the same time, V's there to just go for the front lining here, but then look at the back line. There are a lot of damage being placed, but the Padang goes in with a good set, and they will find 3 members already taken down, and even with that, the base will fall, and YBC, they scored the first point in this best of 3 series.
Wow, really good performance from YBC, man. Like they didn't go out for the utility draft, and on to our surprise, it was a damaged Badang, but somehow it did work out against we. And okay, interesting. C is the MVP as well. We mostly see a damaged Badang onto the ranks mostly, but onto the tournaments, it's really rare. But it didn't just work out. She is the MVP for this game, and Yama Celestials, they are 1 point behind. So, this is going to be a match point for the side of Team YBC. But the question is definitely going to be, will Yama Celestial come up with a comeback or will they not? There is some lineup changes for the side of Team Yama too. There are actually some role changes too. So maybe the synergy is kind of lacking when it comes to the initiations. But YBC with a really clean performance onto this match.
Yeah, they were really, I mean, at least in the early game, a bit shaky, like just the first minute, right? It was a bit shaky from YBC, but after that, they picked up the pace. They knew their draft was really good for the early game, and they played for that objective. And because of that, they got the advantage. And a lot of the neutral objectives were given freely because of the damage scaling from the Nathan in the late game. It kind of it's very difficult to actually even counter out that Nathan because you cannot negate the damage using a wind of nature, right? So you definitely need a lot of magic defense. And on towards the heroes like YSS, even Ruby. Ruby can build, but still, I think Ruby does need some sustain. Apart from that, you need the Queen Swings, you need the Oracle, right?
Oracle. Yeah.
Yeah, those items are very important because without that, it's not really enough sustain. But at the same time, I think the way the draft was executed was a bit lacking in sense that the synergy was not there. I think you're completely correct when you said the role changes could have disrupted their chemistry between the team, at least how they engage or how they play, because the Chow was there, but she was not able to find a target every time that she gets on, and it was kind of such that she was hesitating, and those hesitation can get punished a lot of the times. She did perform well. It's not a bad performance, but it's just that the Chow was not really getting used much because the lack of damage in the early game, because there was nobody who could try and punish, because even the Zushin is utility, they played their bet on the YSs, but I think it was kind of too late, right? When the YSs
Yeah.
came online.
I do agree. And the damage output was also not there for the side of Team Yama Celestial when it came up to the early game, because like you have already said it out onto the first game before it began that YSS, he will be heavily reliant onto the core items. Here he was supposed to get like the Hunter Strike and the War X, and after that he will be able to contribute more onto the team fights. YSS sometimes even works with the Sky Piercer if you have the confidence as well as you are sure of the fact that you will be the one acquiring the kills for the side of your team. So it would have been quite of the case, but this time I think Yama Celestial, their draft, I most probably think onto the 5-man comp, they were not so compatible with the draft that they went with the Chow. It was kind of new to me. Like I have casted the Yama Celestials matches before, and I haven't seen Chow much onto the action, so that might be one of the reasons why they were not able to come up onto the top. But onto the second game, if they go out more onto their comfort as well as the ones who are more reliant onto the meta, it might work out. But YBC, the Martes, they went out for the comfort and it did work out. So it's more like the mastery over meta kind of a thing sometimes. Martis is not that much prioritized onto the meta, but still early game wise, she was confident and she just went in and she was able to get the objectives as well as the kills. But for the second game, it looks pretty similar. The draft is pretty similar, except for the Jushin and the Nathan. Both of these heroes, which were picked up onto the first game, we won't be seeing them onto the second.
Absolutely. And one plus point for the Martis was the fact that the first item buildup was
Sky
Sky
Piercer.
Piercer.
Yep.
So you already have true damage from your ulti, that is the decimation. And on top of that, you're getting stack up with the Sky Piercer, meaning that the damage will even skyrocket, right? So I think because of this early kills, it was really difficult even for the front line, especially for the Alice to actually try and sustain. When she was getting low, she has to force an escape using the flicker or using her first kill because she knows anytime she gets low or HP, she's doomed, man. Like she'll just get decimated out there. And even they had a Minotaur who can heal up. So I think most likely the Minotaur even had the Flux of Oasis, meaning that
Yeah.
there's shield. So a lot of things actually going on, which kind of misses our eyes, but work all those things working together really helps winning out on those crucial team fights, right? And I think even the Badang damage kind of contributed to that part because the lacking of the damage where it lacked in the early game, the Badang kind of contributed to that. Overall, that was really smart. But this time, Yama Celestial will get their hands on towards the CC, and I really, really love this first pick.
Yeah, definitely. CC is, a flex pick, but she is mostly usable onto the goal lane as well because of the continuous damage she deals. And she is more of a lane bully, if you ask me, when she goes on onto the goal lane against a
Yeah.
marksman. So she is definitely going to be a nuisance, whichever lane she is going to be acquiring. And the fact with the CC is you can be going out with, the Festival of Blood, you can be going out with the Brave Smite as well, but you will still be able to hit a lot with the Vengeance as well as the Yo-Yo Blitz. So Remy this time will be going out with the Gatot Kacha. So my question is definitely going to be: is it going to be an EXP Gatot or Rome Gatot? So CC is also more of a flex pick, but Brody definitely onto the gold lane. I believe this is Siren's signature pick. I do see her
Yeah.
onto the Brody quite often.
And it also works really well against the Irithel, right? It's a direct
Yeah.
counter.
Yep.
And
Definitely.
in the early game too, it can dish out much more damage compared to the Irithel. So in terms of laning phase, I think that's already a winning lane, at least in the early game. Late game, it kind of depends because the Irithel has too much mobility and it's kind of difficult for the Brody to actually try and hit his the basic attacks and even the skills properly. So it's going to be a bit difficult, but at least in the early game, the Brody can win out the lane, can actually hold the lane really good, even against I mean, even if he's getting ganked on. So in a way, I do like that, lane matchup at least. But in terms of the mid lane, is still a question because the side of Yama Celestial, they did pick up the Garut Kacha, but like you mentioned, it's still a flex spec, right? We don't know if it's going to the roaming position or either to the EXP, making that CC go to the gold lane, but that's not going to happen. So I think this is going to be most likely a roam Garut because they already have a 5 right? So I'm answering my own question at this point. Does not really make sense. But at the same time, you can see the mid duo from the side of YBC is going to be the slowdown plus that burst damage again, the same like in the last game. They have a good tank and a good burst damage from the mid lane. So at least in terms of the mid duo,
Oh
they
my
have
god.
quite a bit advantage. But again, another Badang coming in. So kudos to that.
Yeah. Yeah, kudos to that. And it was a damage Badang before, most probably for this game as well. It might be the damage Badang, but we kind of underestimated. Let's say we were actually surprised when he went, like when she went with the Demon Hunter Sword as the first item. We mostly see an EXP Badang getting a Thunderbolt instead when she just decides to go out with a utility and be used out as a roamer. So still the fact is the comfort pick did work out onto the first game, but the question is definitely going to be, will the same beat repeat onto the second one? The Xborg as well as the Lunox are getting finalized. By far, I do love the draft of Team Yama Celestial. It is definitely a gold lane CC. So, the rules have been fixed out. A Roam Gatot combined with a Jungle Xborg and a gold CC. So, YBC, a final touch is going to be a jungler. YSS is still open, or maybe they might be going out for the Martyrs once again.
I think the YASS is not open, so it's banned actually
Oh,
this time.
okay. Never mind.
So the Martis could be another option. Apart from that, they need something that can actually stand toe to toe to the Xborg. I think they can go for maybe something that has a good mobility or that can actually dive into the backline because they need somebody to dive. The Lancelot is already off the table. The Hayabusa could be a potential option, but I don't recommend that because I think against the Brody it's pretty difficult to actually try go in and use your Ogisha to kill. But
Oh, wow.
talking about the assassin, they actually pick up the one that can dive the best. It's got to be the
Yeah.
Ling. After a very long time, I'm seeing this hero being played out, man, and I'm really excited
Yep.
to see. And you talked about the draft from Yama Celestial really looking good, but I feel it's kind of very damage heavy and less of sustain, because the only sustain that I see is onto was the Garud Kasha. CC is more of a damage that I take into consideration. So I feel it's very expensive draft in terms of itemization at least.
Yeah, in EXPCC, actually, I was kind of mistaken. The link pick is kind of 50-50 for me, in my opinion, because he is like the Fanny, to be honest. Like, if he
Yes.
gets invaded and if he's not able to acquire his purple buff, then he will not be able to contribute as much as he's supposed to onto the team fights. So that will be the one downfall for the link. But if he's able to get it, and objectives, Ling is one of the best objective stealers, in my opinion, when it comes to the turtle as well as the lord fight. You can use out the Tetris upgrades to just secure out the retributions. But for this game, it is going to be Yama Celestials onto the blue side, and this time once again they are taking up Yashirin base club, YBC onto the match point. Will Yama Celestial come up with a comeback, or will it be a clean sweep? So here we are onto the land of storms.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Queen's Legacy series presented to you by Wardrum Games. And like my good friend Itami already said, we are in for the second game, a match point for YBC here, whereas Yama Celestial, they have a mountain to climb, let's just say. So let's see how do they actually fare against this kind of ordeal. Again, you can see a bit of invade coming in. They want to play aggressive, but Remy goes out to give the vision, to give a bit of taunt with the Unbreakable. But the first little wonder of the game will be secured out by Nexon, and she's farming good. She has a good jungle parting. I think she will be getting that level 4 much quicker compared to Xbox, that is Sarah, because the Xbox is kind of slow, at least when it comes down to the farming speed, right? So
Yeah.
I think YBC, they have a pretty good, pretty fast rotation as well to the side lanes.
Definitely, they are more synergized, let's say, in my opinion. So it could be like we have already discussed out the role changes. They are yet to find out the better chemistry for the side of Team Yama Celestials. And Ling, he is already onto the level 4 mark. So most probably there is no contention when it comes to the kill rates, but the turtle fight most probably should be contested from either of the sides. Onto the top side, there might be some skirmish going around, but Sarah has already reached out the level 4 mark as well, trying to get out some visions. But the last insanity, as well as the injury, is yet to be done out. CC doesn't have the curtain call yet, and they just decided to disengage. And for now, it's the turtle being spawned, but the question is which team will be able to get it this time. I think contention is definitely going to be done from both of the sides.
Absolutely, I think both the teams would. That you can see the turtle is out there, and Yama Celestial are the first one. They started off a good zoning coming out from V and Ling. This Nexon is actually having a hard time to get to the vicinity, but last insanity actually used up with the retribution. A very expensive combo, and that really makes Sarah very vulnerable. There is a rough pace, but first blood will be Priya, and here comes Tempest of Blade. But even Nexon is low, but here comes a good and a good ultimate, a very big one. And Althea will be getting a kill onto her hands, but Kiyomi will be falling in the hands of Kiene, and this is a huge fight that Yama Celestial actually winning it out with a trade of 3-1, right, with the turtle?
Yeah, they did win it out, but using the last insanity onto the turtle, I do get it. I think most probably she didn't have the vision of the link, so she didn't wanted to just out onto the objectives. But at what cost? You just ended up losing out your life, as well as just getting out the shields for your side as well. But Remy, oh no, she might not be able to escape it out, but somehow she had her S2 and the resources were baited out, but for now she's still safe.
She's still safe, but she needs to be careful because there's enough punishment available from the side of YBC, and it's just the early game, it's just the first turtle, because I think with time this Ling should be scaling. Once she gets her items, it's going to be very easy for her again. Bot lane Priya wants to go a bit aggressive, but hey, they need to be wary of the fact that Yama Celestial can also punish them out And Rimi's there. She just wants to open up the vision, but it's just a battle of vision who gets more intel. But I think Brody is still having a bit of struggle with the rotation that is being made by the side of YBC. And again, there's a bit of engage. There comes a taunt, and Priya is really low, uses that revitalize. But again, there comes the damage from Althea, and Suki gets traded out. She'll not even use anything. Here comes the last insanity. Priya already falls in the hands of Rimi. Here comes the AOG, locks down Althea, and she falls. Keen will be the one to take it down, but here comes Lynx as well. And Yama Celestial, they want to back off. They have not lost any of their members. They should be working out, should not be greedy any longer. And Rimi, get out of there. Yes, she does. And that's a good trade right before the second turtle spawn.
Yeah, good trade actually. A 2 for none actually, right? For the side of Team Yama Celestial. So, yep, a good trade. And looks like Ling is not onto a position to be actually contesting out the turtle. He doesn't have his purple buff yet too, but Hylos is trying to get out some visions. And there might be a potential fight coming up. But the question is for the retribution. Suki just goes down, and there is the retri being secured by Nexon somehow. Templar of Blades did come up from as well. Sarah did fall, and it will be a 2 for none. And the turtle going for the side of Team YBC. Look at Rimi, tries to go back, but the overextension from Kiyomi will be ending her up, losing her life. But still, it is a better trade for the side of Team YBC.
Yeah, man. Just second turtle in, and we are seeing 5-4-4 in the scoreboard. The gold is not too different, except for the fact Yama Celestial have a good lead, kind of just few hundred, but it's kind of as well can be covered up really easily with one team fight. But this time, that overextension, like you mentioned, have been punished. And again, Priya wants to open up the map, but gets met by 2 members from the side of Team Yama Celestial. But again, you can see they're going in. There is the rough is already being used towards Rimi, and she's really taking a bit of damage. Not bit, a ton of damage, but Priya falls in the hands of Suki. And now they want to go all in. You can see they're running through a run, but Althea will not be finding an escape out of there. Here comes Nexon, and she wants to go in with the Tempest of Blade, but we really used up early on, gets stunned up, kind of wants to get out, but there is no way. And Suki finds another kill, and one more. 3-4-0. That's a very beautiful team fight coming out from Yama Celestial.
Yeah, definitely. And the Brody's damage is slowly but surely it is coming up online. It is quite showing up as well. I actually would like to look at the itemizations. Maybe she will be deciding to go out for the Sky Piercer too. But okay, interesting enough. Instead of the Heptasis first, she decided to go out with the range, and she got the Malefic gun. So interesting itemizations, and I think most probably she will be, Siren will be going out for the Heptasis too. But the thing is, she is already onto a bounty for the side of Team YBC. They will be trying to lock out onto the marksman, but as we already said, onto the laning phase as well, she has more of an advantage compared to the Erythel, a natural counter.
Definitely. Okay, a flicker, a very expensive resource being baited out from Kiyomi, and there comes a conceal. Okay, it seems like Yama Celestial wants to go in for another engage. Althea has to use that Ocean Node to get out of the harm's way, and at this point, the turtle is already up. You can see Tempest of Blade still there, but again, Nexon is getting really zoned out heavily, kind of out of energy. Gets the Unbreakable Taunt. This time has to burn up that Tempest of Blade, but the turtle will be picked up by the side of Team Yama Celestial, and now that they want to go for a full-fledged fight. What is going to be the outcome so far? One member has already fallen. It's going to be Kiyomi, and now there will be more coming in. The plate is full, and Priya will be the one falling. And now it's going to be a 2-4-0 trade with Yama Celestial, finding a turret up top for sure.
Yeah, could have been a 3 as well, but it was just one stack away. The turn apart memory did land onto the link, but the damage was still not enough. And by far, Yama Celestials having a better control onto this game compared to the previous match. So most probably it could be extended onto the game number 3, but the main objective this time is going to be the Lord, which will be coming up anytime soon. But YBC are not so behind when it comes to the tower advantage too. It's only 1, so map control, even they have it for the side. But the thing is, the engages that have been coming up from the side of Yama Celestial, they are having out the better trades. And onto my notice, Suki just went out for the Sky Piercer as well. So against a tanky kind of a composition, it is really good. And one thing is the Badang, most probably once again, is more onto the damage. So Lunox might be having the advantage.
Yeah, definitely, but again, they want to overload Priya this time. No way out. And then there goes one more kill in the pockets of Yama Celestial. Now the score stands 12 for 4, and they want to open up the second tier in the mid lane. They will get whatever they want, but again, up the top lane, you can see Ling, that is Nexon, pushing freely. There is no one to actually stop her. Absolutely. So this is going to be a free second tier given, and Yama Celestial, they are really taking the fights to such a way that they're not really taking care of the side lanes, and that could be a problem with a split pusher like Ling. She'll take advantage, man.
Yeah, surely. And the Ling, like I was already mentioning it out, they are Yama Celestia are making sure that the Ling is not getting out her purple buff as well. So the engages are not coming up. But the purple, speaking of purple, Sarah is on. Mortality is not there. There's the engage.
Oh, AOG comes in, and now there will be a full-fledged fight. Okay, they're still fighting it out. Priya this time falls, but look at the back lane. Nexon falls as well. Suki gets traded off for that, and Kiyomi will be falling in the hands of V. And now Yama Celestial, they have a good control, but okay, Lin actually finds her escape out there, and I think Remy really outdone herself with that engage with the AOG, man. Had it been not for her, Sarah would have just definitely get taken down out there.
Yeah, good engage as well. And the overextension from the side of Team YBC just ended up losing out their jungler as well as two of the members. So it will be a free and an uncontested loss for the side of Team Yama Celestials this time. So the thing is, compared to the previous match, they don't have that much of a towers. But the main question is always going to be, will they be able to sync out the lanes as much as Team YBC did onto the previous one, because it was the second lot that actually ended out the game. And for this one as well, I believe Siren is yet to get a shutdown, so she has a lot of bounty as well as the damage from the Brody is definitely a lot. And one thing YBC needs to do, try to shut down the Brody if you still want to hold on onto the match.
Definitely. I think they do have a good wave clear, but it's unlikely that they can actually stop and engage. That will come out from Yama Celestial. They have a lot of windows, a lot of ways to go in with their skills, of course. But again, bot lane, the inhibitor falls, and now they want to go for a bit of kills here. It seems like the Revitalize will be really used early up, as well as the Glorious Pathway. Big resources being baited out from Priya. And without that, she can really, really be vulnerable. More waves are coming and crashing from the top lane. And I think one more inhibitor should fall, but the Lord has been cleared, and Yama Celestial, they're trying to overextend this one inside the base. That might be a bit too much, but again, V goes in, but the rough pips get used, and last insanity will be there. Sarah, okay, no, Kiene will be finding a kill, but Althea will be falling in the hands of Sarah. And at this point, YBC, they're falling in shamble, but they will be turning it around. Lin finds a huge shutdown on towards Remy, and at the same time, Kiene will be finding a shutdown on towards one more member, and that's a double kill for her. And with this, a wipeout coming out from the side of Team YBC, and this is Yama Celestial game to take, and we will be moving to a game number 3.
Wow, really good matchup, man. And this time, Yama Celestials come up with the answer, and yep, they are here for a fight, and they will be taking on onto the game number 2, extending onto the game number 3. So a do or die situation for both of the sides, but what a performance this time from the side of Team Yama Celestials. They decided to went out with a fighter jungler, but it worked out wonders when it came to taking out the objectives as well. And the Brody, which is the natural counter to the Irithel, onto the laning, I do believe she was already having the advantage, but Brody's range was also one of the major things that helped acquire Yama Celestials a lot of objectives, and not to mention Remy's AOG plays as well as the tauntings, it was right on point. And looking, for the side of Team Yama Celestials, of course, it will be the Brody. It will be the Brody who will be giving out the maximum damage output. Irithel did had the team fight participation as well. It was quite lower compared to the Kadita as well as the Badang, but still, YBC. It was not exactly the draft, but like I have already said it out, Ling, once she is not able to get out the purple buff for her side, then it becomes one of the reasons why she is not able to engage more onto those team fights. And for this game, Yama Celestials takes the game, and they will be extending the series onto the game number 3. So, Shinryu, are you not excited for the third match coming up?
I'm so excited, man. This is the lower bracket, the do or die, right? It's like the battle for the survival at this point, and who wouldn't love a full 3 game series? And let's see. I'm excited to see how the girls will be playing this one out because both the teams have scored 1 point each, and even though it's a best of 3 series, now it just comes down to a best of 1, right? This will be the final game, the final stretch, and the better team will be winning it out, or maybe the luck could be a factor. So either of the could. But again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching out there, are you not entertained? If you're entertained, then do leave a like, do subscribe to Wardroom Games for bringing such live actions to you guys. And there'll be more of such events in the future as well. So do support us. Do make sure that, you show us love as well as to your favorite girls that are playing out there. So, type down the teams that you're supporting, the players that you're supporting to let them know that you're there, your presence is there, and they feel fully supported, fully motivated to actually play the game number 3. That's going to be very, very important. The losing team here will be getting eliminated, and the winners will be moving to the next round. Still in the lower brackets, but more closer to actually, going for the lower bracket finals from where they can play the grand final. So it's a very, very vital game for both of these teams. And Itami, I feel we are going to see a full blockbuster action now for sure. Full out 4, man.
Yeah, surely. And we are here already on to the drafting phase, and the first ban phase is already here. You know, in your predictions, what could be the the ban-worthy heroes which could be coming up from either of the sides? I believe for this game, maybe Yama Celestials will be trying to ban out the Kadita, or they might not, because onto the 2 games, she did play some roles onto the first game as well. It was engaged, but oh my goodness, I completely forgot about the CC. I think it is mostly onto the comfort, like V is more comfortable onto the CC compared to the Alice, and the engages and the yo-yo blitz were also quite up to the point.
Absolutely. I think she was really comfortable on the CC, that I agree with. And also the way the combo works between the CC as well as the Garud Kacha is so beautiful. Every time you go with the curtain calls, 2 member get locked in. And then you go with the AOG, they cannot actually escape. And that's a confirm hit. You cannot do anything about that. You can purify out of that. But if you take the purify, it's going to be wasted out when you get engaged by the different members, right? So it's a very smart play when it comes down to that combo, and this is actually told to me by Asuya. So props to her, a good shout out to her as well. She's also, I think, watching out there. So that's a really good combo when you think about it, and giving it out freely is going to really be detrimental, and that's why I think the ban is pretty much worth it. But look at that, so quick bans coming out already, and this time the Nathan also gets banned out, which was picked in the first game, and Julian
Oh,
gets first pick
wow.
this time by YBC. They did not want to take any more chances, man.
First game, it was the first game, right? The Julian was banned out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first game. So, yep, definitely a Julian jungle in my opinion. So, they didn't wanted to risk it out, and even if Julian is not that much of a big priority jungler like the Viasis or the Lancelot, I believe this hero still works out well when it goes out onto the right hand. So they decided to go out for the comfort, and they don't want to risk it out. They want to go all out, so just go out for the comfort pick, okay? But speaking of comfort, Remy once again gets the hands onto the Katot Kacha. If the AOG and the taunts are up to the point, she will be one of the you know key playmakers for the side of Team Yama Celestial. The draft is looking pretty similar compared to the previous game, because the Brunox as well as the Katot, they were picked out on the second one. It's pretty similar, but the thing is, what will Team YBC go out with?
I think a Claude maybe, because looking at the Leslie ban, it's not a everyday ban,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Because a Claude gets countered by the Leslie, so that could be a probable understanding that that they're going with the Claude pick. Otherwise, I think they're going for really tanky heroes that can get countered by the Leslie. Because apart from that, I don't see any value banning out the Leslie unless it is a wrong ban. But ooh, the Yuzong comes into the
Oh,
play. Alongside that, they have a Minotaur, and that's a lot of frontline sustain, man. This is like so much heal, so much region into their arsenal, and that's going to be so difficult to actually try and mark the backline. The front to back composition really becomes so vital for the side of YBC at this point, because Yama Celestial, they need something that can really dive the backline alongside the Garud Kacha. Okay, Xbox once again. Hmm, good, but I think the Firaga armor can be shredded very easily, man.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to the second game draft, and yeah, they are not going to be risking it out for the side of team YBC as well. The Minotaur was prioritized onto the first game. Second game, it was not picked out, right? Minotaur was not there for the second game. I believe it was, yeah, it was not there.
First game,
So
it was first game. It was first game. The Minotaur
yeah,
was there.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So the Minnow on to the first game was there. So on to the third game as well. They are relying on to the comforts. Most probably relying on to the comforts because Yuzhong is not also one of the heroes that would I actually
Oh,
call a go-to EXP laner, a Brody as well as an Erithal van. So definitely some
damn.
true respect bans actually for Siren. So you gotta respect your
She is the
opponent. And
threat. She is
yeah.
the threat at this point. I mean, they really want to ban her out at this point. You can see, like you mentioned, so much respect and signature heroes being banned off, meaning that they want to throw her off her, her comfort picks and just make her pick something that kind of, is maybe not her forte in a
Um
way. Mm,
In
I
my
think,
wild prediction, Bane is
yeah,
still open. Could
true.
Bane is still open, so she can be going out for the Bane, but I think she relies more onto her
Okay.
comfort. Speaking of
Hmm.
comfort, this is one of the heroes. I did see Yama Celestials getting the Savage, and she decides to go out with the Clint. So,
You know what? Yeah, Itami.
yeah, yep,
Good thing we don't have 10 bans.
yeah, true,
I mean,
true,
20
true.
bands, like in total, but 5 each. So otherwise, she would be complaining. In a way that, why are you banning all my heroes? What do I play now? Layla? I'm just kidding, guys. It's just a fun pun. But like you mentioned, the Clint can be very vital for this draft.
Yeah, I do agree. And Team YBC left out with the gold lane as well as the mid lane priorities. So against a Clint, I think Brody would have been a good answer. Even the Nathan works, but onto a 1v1 kind of phase, he is a kind of marksman who bullies out most of the gold
Oh,
laners. 1-1 as well as an Aurora, a debut, most probably a debut pick. I haven't seen her onto the playoffs at least.
true. But again, the Y, no, not the YSS, but the Clint kind of
1-1.
counters the 1-1,
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing.
I don't know about this pick, man. Yarichin Bish Club. Hmm, uh, I do like the Aurora in some sense, but I think in terms of laning matchup, at least the 1-1 kind of struggles. So, what do Yamastella still want to answer this with for the EXP lane? I think they can go for the Lapu Lapu if they want to. The Alice, I don't see the value out of it because she can really get punished with the crowd control. The other side of Yarichin Bish Club can provide. Apart from that,
Oh,
okay, Terizla.
okay. Terizla against the
Terizla.
Yuzhong though.
Not
She
the
will
best
be.
matchup.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like for the engages, I do agree. You can do the penalty zone, and Xborg as well as the Gatot can use out. It is, in my opinion, Yamasen stills do have the team fight composition kind of a draft. You can use out the Terizla for the engages as well as the Gatot Kacha. It could be
Mhm.
done from both of them. Even the Xborg using the last insanity just going in.
True, true.
But 1v1 kind of situations that will be kind of dicey.
It's pretty dicey, and I'm really trying to, wrap my brain around it, my head around it, this one, because I see a lot of combo that can be possible, but it all comes down to the timing of the skills, the way they will, actually layer the skills when the team fight goes in. Because one wrong step, one mistake, and either of the drop can be punished so much because you can see there's a lot of punishment available. The AoE skills are full on. There is a minion fury, there is a frigid glacier, so much on the table, of course. But again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we welcome you to the game number 3 between Yarichin Bish Club versus Yama Celestial. This is the match point for both these teams. The last stretch, the last chance for either of these teams to continue their run or end it all here. So let's see how it will be going out. In the caster deck is going to be me, Shinryu, and I'm joined by Itami for this game. So let's see how it goes out. But what do you feel about the mid duo out this one? For these two teams for this game?
Yeah, Aurora against Lennox. Definitely going to be a worth it kind of a matchup. And let's just see, before they hit the level 4 mark, the first blood might be drawn, but there might be the engage already.
already engaged. Unbreakable is there, but a bit of taunt. Low HP Kiyomi. Not Kiyomi, actually. It's actually Kiyomi playing the mage this time. They have changed the roles. She's really low out there, walking out, but the Little Wanderer will be secured by the side of team Yarichin Bish Club this time. I'm kind of surprised they found the retribution out there on time.
Yeah, even though the first blood's yet to be drawn. Oh, look at the gold lane matchup as well. A 1-1 against a Clint. Like we were already mentioning it out. Clint has more of a laning advantage, so she can be using out for the full potential as well. But the 1-1, it will be requiring the itemizations. But the thing with the 1-1 is the crossbow of Tang. Once it lands up, it can be the game changer too. So that will be one of the things that Team Yama Celestials will try to avoid as much as possible. I think the Clint is aware of the fact that two of the people are waiting her onto the bush, but yeah, the first bloods as well as the turtle yet to be spawned, and I think YBC they might be trying to engage onto the Clint first, but okay, beautiful S2. The skill 2 coming up from the Clint, just going out for the disengage. Look at the matchup onto the EXP lane, the team fight.
Oh, Petrified this time, helping out Althea to try and survive this onslaught. But again, a lot of HP being chunked down. But again, we will be able to regen it back. But the thing is, the turtle is up here, and the side of Yarichin Bish Club, they also want to get a good positioning here, good setup for this turtle fight. You can see there is already an engage coming out on towards Remy. She still has a lot of HP, but again, you can see on the back line there will be a stun there. Yuzong comes in with the Black Dragon form, wants to go in full in, but again, Frigid Glacier, their last insanity, but again, Nexen will find the turtle, but first blood will be going in the hands of Yama Celestial. We find this out, and now Yama Celestial wants to back out. They do not want to take any more engage or overextension here. They're happy with that. Despite losing the turtle, they found a kill, so I think it's worth their trade.
Yeah, and it was for an EXP winner. Even though the gold bounty is not that much, but EXP, the Yuzong contributes a lot onto the team fight. One thing, if you have a Yuzong for your side and he does has a Black Dragon form, it is basically a free turtle if you do know how to zone them out onto that scenario. But the thing just now is YBC, they did lose out the Yuzhong and they just decided to go out for the safer side. That is just go out for the retreat. And for now, YBC also doing a really good job onto the gold lane as well. There is the crossbow of Tang landing on the siren, and this time the trade will be done. But an off-camp kill, we also fall down onto the process, so that will be a 2 for none.
2 for none, and both the side laners fall, and just first turtle after first turtle, we can see some answer back from the side of Yarichin Bish Club, YBC. They're doing good, and the first item will be secured by 1-1 really early on because she does not make shoes. One is that, and because of that, she will be getting the first item lead here. However, top lane, the gold plating is completely taken off, and even a first tier this early on. Oh my god, this is really bad for Yama Celestial because they are losing the structures really quickly, and not only that, they're giving free gold. That's gonna be hurting really soon.
Yeah, that's true. And the turtle also yet about to be spawned, and YBC are having a better kind of a trade. So why Yama Celestials, they will be trying their best in order to get a better off trade onto there. But
Remy?
they might be thinking me is all alone. Also, 1-1 does has a crossbow of Tang as well, using the Monian Fury as well as the Revitalize, trying to sustain it out. AOG is somehow able to just save her alive, but an important resource going out for the side of Team Yama Celestials. Once again, Frigid Glacier yet to be used on, but I think YTC will be going out for the engage. Sara is all alone, using the Petrify. Firaja armor just popped up, and there might be a kill onto Sara as well, but there might be the overextensions coming up from the side of Team Yama Celestials, and this time Akia will be the one losing her life, and there is another engage coming out. Kiyomi will be falling too onto the hands of Remy. She goes down as well, and once again Nexen gets the kill. It will be a 3-for-2 for the side of Team YBC once again. They do have the jungler, so maybe they might be going out for the turtle, or maybe not.
Maybe they should be going for the turtle here, right? A lot of overextension did take place. They got enough kills, and with that, they have got themselves a 1k goal lead. And even with this turtle, I think the lead will be furthered more. And at this point, even Remy cannot walk up and give the vision. The turtle is already taken, and the purple buff will be secured by Sara. So she's able to farm up pretty decently. At this point, the only thing the side of Yama Celestial needs are turrets and even some objectives. Again, we are seeing a deja vu from the game number 1, where they had given a lot of resources away, especially the turrets, especially the neutral objectives. And this time too, they have to give it out. despite having a decent draft, it's like the AoE skills really making the difference out here, right? Because you can see the Frigid Glacier is always there anytime they want to go in for the engage. Even V, if she goes in with the penalty zone along with the flicker combo, there is no guarantee the rest of the team can respond in time and support her, right? Because there's so much peel available. But again, take a look at the items here, Hitami. Do you see anything uncertain things or anything different?
Yeah, speaking of, different, I won't exactly say it, but the thing is, compared to the game number 2, Siren is not having that much of a good time. She just got this endless battle as well, which is a must go for a Clint. But the thing is, she needs to find out some skill trades in order to find out the bounties. So the main damage source is also the goal laner for the side of Team Yama Celestial. The lane clearing might be coming out. The flicker already getting baited down. And there is the crossbow of Tang as well. Uses the billions, somehow able to escape, but there is the engage.
There is a taunt, but I don't think so there's follow-up damage. But look at the backline. Here comes Nixon. But she was hoping that she would find Suki out there, but she actually outplayed that walking out. But again, they want to go in. There's a lot of enhanced skills coming in. But again, Black Dragon is there. Frigid Glacier 2 finds a massive set. And this time, Althea will be able to take down Suki. And at the same time, they're going on the turret. Althea finds herself a double, might get a triple. But V takes down Althea. And again, Nixon finds Remy. That's a 3-for-1 trade, and they also find a turret. This is huge. This is a very big trade coming and giving YBC, that is Yarajin Bish Club, a huge advantage in terms of gold, in terms of map space, and also this objective that they can easily take down. And look at the mid lane. I think another first tier should fall.
That was a great engage as well. Sarah is all alone, doesn't have the immortality. She just gets taken down once the turtle has been spawned. Basically, this just means a free turtle for the side of Team YBC. Once again, she was all alone and she was instantly punished.
Very quickly punished because she does not have any, sustain or, those items that can keep her alive. And I think this is going to be a bit of a problem because one, they're not getting too much success in terms of fighting those objectives or even pushing those turrets. And with this kind of lead, but okay, a good ambush is there. Okay, they want to go for the taunt here. Amy with Unbreakable gets a stun, but again, V's there. It's on to was next turn, but able to get out with the enhanced skills. So still okay, right? Here comes Priya, does have the Minion Fury, but do not want to engage anytime soon. He's trying to walk out while also hitting her hammer. But again, top lane 1v1 Dragon versus Sarah, and Althea should be walking out because if she overextends, she can also get punished. And with this Lord is going to be just a few seconds away. Not actually, it's a lot of seconds away. My bad. I'm seeing things at this point. But again, Remy goes for the taunt, but she's getting a lot of damage. Oh my goodness, even the Revitalize will not help her survive. Last inside being used up by Sarah. There is the Frigid Glacier, does not really connect because of the immunity, but at the same time, the Immortal will be lost by Sarah, and now they want to go under the turret. Althea's really inside. Oh, survives though, and no punishment coming out from the side of Yama Celestial, and with this, the second tier will be falling. Yama Celestial in a big stretch, in a big problem, because they're losing gold, they're losing structures really, really quickly.
Yeah, and the fact that the damage output is not also scaling up for the side of Team Yama, I think the fact that Flint, she has fallen down thrice onto this game, and the 1-1 has a lot of goal advantage already onto her name. It is actually showing up when it comes to the team fight contribution as well as the damage scaling that is coming up on the side of Yarajin Bish Club. So the Lord will be up onto the next few seconds, but the thing is, even if Yama Celestials, they will be contesting it out, the crucial objective is somehow will be trying to take it. But the thing is, will actually they be able to contest it out or not?
I don't see a window for them to go in. You can see so much zoning presence already from YBC. Yama Celestial, they're forced to play passive because one, they do not have items on towards Sarah. Second, even that is Siren or Keen or Kiene does not have enough items too. So it's just like they have to concede this lords and all. They need to push some lanes off the map that they can find like just this they did in the top lane. So if they do this slowly but surely, they should be able to match a few gold. But the problem here is the Lord which will be marching down, and I think this can potentially open up the inhibitor turret too, right? But again, bot lane. Okay, it's just a poke damage.
Yep, and for now, Yashirin Base Cup, they are going out for the objective game as well. So it only leaves out the inhibitor towers for the side of Renama Celestials. Another potential team fight might be coming up because the Minotaur still has the Minion Fury onto his name, but the Torrent Shields will somehow be able to save them or not. It will be depending upon the fact there is the penalty zone as well as the zone.
Oh, there goes the AOG as well, but we will be falling, and Minion Fury knocks up 3. Black Dragon is there, but Remy is all isolated and will fall. Althea picks another kill, and this time, Suki falls as well. This is even going from bad to worse for the side of Yama Celestial, and the inhibitors now is in a jeopardized position. If IBC wants, they can push it down, but hey, they're losing too much just with simple pushes. And Yama Celestial, if they're not careful enough, they might just concede the game as well, because you can see the punishment that is available from YBC. Every time Yama Celestial wants to go in, they're not getting what they're wanting to or wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact is, even if Yama Celestials, like you have already said it out, the zoning coming out from the Terizla as well as from Remy, the Katutkacha, they did came up with a really good setup, but the thing is the damage output is not still scaling up. So even if they are trying to engage it out, I think the farm difference as well as the itemization difference is playing a lot. It's playing a crucial role when it comes to engaging onto the team fights. Sarah getting the Ice Queen one to slow out more of the members for the side of team YBC. I believe team YBC, they will be requiring one more lot in order to actually end the game, but Yama Celestials, they definitely need to contest it out somehow, even if they just get wiped out, because the second law defense, it is giving me the deja vu of what happened onto the first one.
Yeah, man. I think they need to put more farm on towards Clint. That is only a way
Yeah.
out for them at this point. Because if the Clint get farmed, there's enough damage that can punish. And at this point, you can see Suki is also not able to dish out the damage that is necessary because of the way YBC are playing. And with this kind of lead, they should be getting more advantage with this Lord take, because one Yama Celestial, they cannot walk up to the Lord, and if they do, it's gonna be a complete Hail Mary play, and there are very huge chances that it can just go it cannot just work and they just lose out the game. So if they want to do that, it's going to be a very huge call. But I do understand that Yama Celestial have enough ways to clear this Lord push, because you can see the Lord is getting melted down so quickly, and Yama Celestial, they cannot even do anything about it at this point. The zoning is too high, and Yama Celestial, they have to again brace themselves for another defense here.
Yeah, the thing is, the second Lord, it will be a lot tankier compared to the first one as well. So, they are already onto the disadvantage of the fact that they don't have any of the remaining towers except for the inhibitors. So, the shields also being up will play a crucial factor. Sarah does have her immortality. She can be using out the last insanity to clear out the waves as well as give out some potential damage as well. But like you mentioned, the Clint is the main damage source as well as Suki. So if these two, they don't scale up when it comes to the damage or don't get the shutdowns, a crucial shutdown actually would be onto the Julian as well as onto the 1-1. If they are able to get two of them somehow, then somehow they will be able to defend the base. But the question is, the lane singing is quite up to the point. And the thing for the side of Team Yama Celestials, the Lord is a lot tanky. Minotaur might just go in with a Morning Fury as well at this point.
Yeah, they have a very good positioning here. Here comes a knock up onto his 2-member, but they're just trying to get the inhibitors down. 2 falls now with the 2 inhibitors falling, and at this point the Black Dragon also gets used up with his own, but here comes the AOG, locks down 1, and this is going to be a full-fledged ride. Last inside being used up, but double knock up there, but Priya falls in the hands of the side of Time. Okay, this is Suki getting one more kill, and the side of Yama Celestial might just find a way out. There is the Brilliance being used up. Next one is low, but able to just outplay that. A good clutch play this time, saving the game. 2-for-1 is the trade, but Yama Celestial, they still have the wall in their court. They can try and defend. You can see they're just trying to clear the waves out, and YBC, they need to walk out of there. If they overextend, they can get punished, taken down, and that would just make matters worse. And with this, Yama Celestial have been able to defend it, but at the cost of what? They have lost all their inhibitors. Nixon is there, of course, but it's very difficult for them to actually try and catch it. Okay, penalty zone being used up, big resource, while the team is not even there. I think that's a bit of overextension for sure, right? Without the team.
Yeah, even without the team as well as the damage source for your side. Actually, for the side of the IBC as well, that was a good kind of a discipline, in my opinion. As soon as they lost one of the members, they decided just not to over engage, and they just decided to back off, considering the fact they already got two of the towers. So they, concluded themselves to the fact that one more lord might just actually do it this time, and they just decided to retreat it out. But for Sayu, she just traded out the penalty zone as well. So you know before the going like just baiting out your resources like that might not actually be a good answer, even if you're not getting the right of your head when you were trying to engage it out. And the goal lead is also really extending for the side of team YBC, though it is already onto the late game. The itemizations are nicely done, but this time Yama Celeste might actually be trying to contest for the lord. Before that,
Oh, there is Priya trying to sustain the damage, but the Lord is really low HP. I don't think so. Sara is gonna get there on time. Yes, Nixon picks up the Lord, and now YBC, they wanna go for an engage. Again, there's a knock-up onto the spot. V is really overextended, uses that flicker penalty zone, but it's gonna be not enough for her to survive. Nixon picks up the kill, and Sara now loses her not immortality, but the Firak armor. Still able to walk out. The Revitalize being used up. And okay, I don't know what for though, because they had enough HP. Remy gets engaged on, but they really no, this time that engage kind of works in the favor of Yama Celestial, but they have still a lot of defense. Here comes the AOG for the zone, and it finds Yomi, but the base is completely wide open, and that will be the game. That will be it. Yama Celestial, they lose it, and YBC continue their run in the lower bracket at Queen's Legacy Series.
a good best of three, man. But congratulations for the side of Team Yaishirin Best Club, who will be taking on the game as well as the series. And it will be Team Yama Celestials who will be falling onto the tournament, and they will be eliminated. So YBC, they will be living up another day. So I would say really good performance from both of the sides, but execution wise, YBC definitely outplayed it out. I think it was not exactly of a draft issue. It was more onto the executions, and this time, execution wise as well as discipline wise, you gotta give hats off for the side of team IBC as well, because they decided to engage once they were not onto a better position, like once they were not getting the better off kind of trades, they just decided to disengage. So that actually shows out the discipline. If you get the objectives, just back it off, wait for your time, be patient, and get the game. And that is what they exactly did.
I do agree with you that they just played for the objectives, right? The winning objective. This game, they knew the fact that the goal lane was not a winning matchup, so they put the focus on towards that the rotation was there properly, and they really made sure that the goal laner got scaled up, and that eventually really paid off for them, because it was very difficult for Yama Celestial to just take down the 1-1 in a lot of case, and Lin had a free time using those crossbow of tanks, right? Easily without any worry, because she was able to open it up so quickly. And the problem is, once the crossbow of tank opens and you get a kill, the damage transfers to the other member. So eventually you're also killing your own teammate. So that
Yeah.
is kind of costly. And I feel the way Yama Celestial were playing, like you mentioned, just in the first game this time too, I see the synergy lacking a little bit for sure. Like maybe the calls were not completely on, they were not on the same page with the calls, but it is what it is, man. I think they have a bit of homeworks to do, but I believe in the girls. They will definitely work it out.
Yeah, surely. And we are aware of the fact that Yama Celestials, they do have the presence when it comes to the female tournaments as well. But for the side of Team YBC, they were kind of the underdogs here, but still, I actually like the performance for both of the sides. But for tonight, it will be Team YBC who will be winning off the series, like we already mentioned it out, and I've already seen the actions for today. So that will be it for tonight, and we will be back tomorrow with more action, more games, and more intense fight. Till then, Itami and Shinryu will be signing off. Good night, everyone, and take care.